Ultra Unlock bonus. Unknown will appear globally in raids, and 1-star raids will get Unknown ADELP, which do together not only spell Adelp, but also Paldea if you use A twice. I think that's what they were going for there, right? That sounds right to me. You're tuned into the GOCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. Thank you for listening.
Stay on your guard. Seasons abound in Pokemon Go.
I can't hold all of these Master Balls.
It's been 84 years, but the legendary beasts are coming back to raids.
No need to call a locksmith. We've gotten the Ultra Unlock all on our own.
And more on this episode of GOCast, plus PvP Corner. Hello and welcome to the GOCast podcast, episode 251. It's September 5th, yet another Tuesday evening. I get to say that because last Tuesday we did indeed record on a Tuesday evening. I'm your host, Chris, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Kyle.
Hiya.
And not as always, but also my co-host, DeFi.
Hello.
And also my co-host, Fish on the Heater.
G'day, mate.
How are we all doing? We all doing okay?
Wonderful.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I like the slight pause and everybody says something at the same time. That's what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted, and I got it. We're all here, yes. And you know what that means? It's seasonal update time. Are we a little bit late to starting here? Yes. Is it our fault? Absolutely not. It is not our fault that after both of our shows recorded last week, they dropped all the information, and I believe I called it within like 24 hours of us recording. Well, here we are. We've had lots of time to sit on this stuff. Some more information has come out. So in a lot of ways, this is actually beneficial. So while it is not our fault, we will also not issue an apology anyway. Okay. So before we get started here, quick shout out to two new patrons of ours. Thank you to Mickey and Rajoki. Appreciate you both very, very much. More about Patreon and patronage at the end of the episode. But before any of that, Mr. Kyle, really quickly, let's knock out the goals we set for ourselves last week. Sorry, Fish. Sorry, DeFi. We could always go back to the seasonal, goals we had you two set, but I'm not sure how those went. Do you remember them?
I was gonna bring this up. I was gonna bring it up. You make us do all the work of setting the goals, but you never follow us up on it.
Well, wasn't yours to become a Pokemon Master?
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Well, I think you did. And you walked away from OCIC with the travel award. So some people would consider that a Pokemon Master.
If that's your level, then yeah, I absolutely achieved it.
What other level is there? You succeed at the highest competitive level? That seems like a good qualification to me.
I would call it the second highest. The highest I failed very poorly, and I intend to come back and right those wrongs.
Well, okay, one more thing, and I promise we'll move along here. But mind you, that if you beat the Pokemon League in any individual separate region, you still are awarded the title of Pokemon Master. It's not all the regions all at once. So as far as Australia is concerned, that's success.
Well, I did lose to the champion. So I need to go back and do it all again.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to
the Pokemon Center.
I'm looking forward to it, very much so. Okay, well, anyway, we'll talk more about PvP and stuff in just a second. But Mr. Kyle, really quick, did you finish your Community Day Classic research? It was, of course, Charmander.
I did.
Did you have fun doing it?
It was fine. It was fine. Okay. I played longer than I thought I was going to. Mostly because at the start of the day, I got like 8 or 9 excellent throws in a row. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'll knock out the 120 for the Master Ball before I leave.
That's right.
And it felt real bad that it wasn't 3 times experience because apparently I can just hit excellent throws on Charmander without thinking about it.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Once you get dialed in, it's just money.
It only took me 45 minutes.
That's right.
It. So I was like,
also don't forget all the years of catching Charmander up to this point.
No, those don't count.
All right, I'm willing to buy into this. Some inventory cleaning.
Yeah, I transferred like 1,000. Of course, I then caught like 300 Charmander, and I'm like, oh no, my inventory. It's still dangerous.
My inventory. Oh no. 250,000 experience.
I did. I got 900,000.
Whoa, 900,000. My goodness.
Hey,
so how close are you to the next level then?
I'm about halfway. What am I, like 9 million? Yeah, 9.5 million. 9.6 million out of 21.
Love it. Yep. You needed that. Well, hopefully, okay, actually, we're not entirely sure. You may or may not be in luck with this upcoming community day. There are some competing sources of information about what the bonus might be. We'll get there in a minute. But 3 out of 3 for you. Congratulations. Good job. We love to see it. We love to see success. For myself, will we see it? Absolutely not. 30 shinies for Community Day Classic. I did do that by the skin of my teeth. I played with my sister. We ended the day about 30 minutes early because we had tickets to go see the Barbie movie. And oh my gosh, is that movie really, really good or what?
Phenomenal.
It's still on my brain. It's all I've been thinking about. Just incredible performances from everybody across the board. I wasn't expecting it to be both funny and very serious at the same time. But it did it in flying colors. So did do that, but it was close. Clean inventory, I did do that and then promptly filled it right back up. So no. 250,000 Stardust. I've walked away with like 500,000 this week, something like that. I spent a little bit, but net about 500K. And then 50 eggs, I think I did like 38. It just was not happening for me. So that's 2 out of 4 for me. I think so close. 12 eggs is still like a far cry from success.
It's one batch.
A batch is 9, and 38 plus 9 does not equal 50.
It's close enough.
All right, I'll give you that.
Where you got to walk like 2 more kilometers after your batch.
Yeah. This is like golf with your friends. There's like a little bit of a gimme. Give me a drop. We'll be fine. We're fine.
Also, you hatch 9 eggs at every time. So like,
I wasn't though. Because I ran out of supers and there was no good deal in my shop for me for a while. So I just kept accumulating 10-kilometer eggs until community day. And I was like, fine. I'll buy a box. Yep. They got my number, man. And it's incubators. All right. Well, anyway, that's it for us. There was some success, some failure, the usual run of the gamut. But honestly, the biggest thing to talk about this episode is going to be all of the news. So I really don't see a point in postponing it any further. Let's hop right into the news. Yo, what up? It's the news. As promised, we've got so much to talk about. like almost a painful amount, but it's usually, not usually. This time it's mostly good stuff. Like 95% of it is like really good stuff. And I think we can thank GoFest season and now being an Ultra Unlock season. We can blame that. And we'll get there in a minute. But first, it is a brand new season. Today's September 5th, but this new season started on the 1st and it will run through December 1st at 10 a.m. local time. We love it. What's it called? Adventure Abounds. Or is it Adventures Abound? Some combination of those two words. Some alliteration.
The first word is the plural.
Adventures Abound. Yes. Okay, I like that better. So what's going on with this? Well, several big important things. Some of it might not be a big surprise to you now. And not just because we're recording late, but because they teased it so much. Pokemon first discovered in the Paldea region. More Pokemon originally discovered in the Paldea region featured in the Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet games on Nintendo Switch have been spotted in Pokemon Go. Which ones we'll get there in a minute because there's a whole lot of them, mostly because we also got the Ultra Unlock. There's also going to be a Shadow Pokemon debut. Oh, which new Pokemon is going to be shiny with the leaders? That's not what we're talking about. Remember how we had Articuno for 3 whole months?
Yeah.
Well,
now it's
rev up those
Zapdos.
fryers. It's Zapdos.
Yay.
Yeah.
Bet I can tell you which one we're going to get next season.
Regirock. Hands down. It's got to be. Yeah, we're getting Moltres after this, right? Yeah.
Zapdos is one of the more relevant PvP legendaries. At least, it's definitely the most relevant out of the Kanto birds. The most relevant out of the Gen 1 legendaries, except probably I'd put Mewtwo ahead of it. But yeah, Shadow Zapdos, I'm pretty keen for from a PvP perspective.
That is great, because when it comes to raiding, it is much less accessible because it doesn't take 4 times from rock. And because it's local only, you got to get a couple more trainers together in order to pull it down.
That's the bit that's proving difficult.
Yeah,
I was at a fair on the weekend, and like I saw a Shadow Zapdos hatching, and I was like, well, there's literally tens of thousands of people here, so I'll just rock up here and we'll have plenty of trainers. That no one turned up. I was there for like half an hour waiting for just anyone to turn up. I had one level 27 trainer jumping in with me, like, I'll throw my hat in, and I'm like, look, I appreciate it, but we need a little bit more firepower.
That's the voice I think and imagine every level 26 player sounds like. But nobody wanted to do Zapdos, Shadow Zapdos. No. That's simply shocking, Fish, honestly.
Cause for laughs.
Sarcasm.
Okay, all right. There we go.
You ever considered a laugh track?
You know what? I actually have, because it's so dorky and a little bit cringe that I feel like it would be on brand. Like it would just be perfect. Maybe this one time. Maybe the one moment will have already passed us. Anyway, Adventures Abound special research. A new special research story with branching paths will be available to trainers throughout Pokemon Go Adventures Abound. You'll be able to adventure together and bond with your chosen partner Pokemon. You can claim this special research at no cost, free. That's awesome. From Tuesday, September 5th to Friday, December 1st at 9:59 a.m. local time. So pretty much the entirety of the season. Actually, I think it is down to the minute, the entirety of the season. You can start this. And it's not going to be timed. It's special. So as long as you log in during this season, or you remind your mom or your friends that don't really play to log in, they can do it on their own time later on. Spoilers, the branching paths are one of the 3 Paldean starters.
So which one did you pick?
Which one do you think I picked?
Sprigatito.
Yeah, you know me. Was that a Fuecoco for you then, DeFi?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
My boy.
Oh, yeah.
I love Fuecoco so much.
I love him so much.
That leaves these 2 wild cards, though. I'm pretty sure I've got Kyle's number on this as well.
I mean, yeah, I took Fuecoco.
What, not Quaxley?
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit, I know.
Didn't even kind of take Quaxley.
No.
All right, do me.
Fish. Sprigatito, because you've got
Taste. That's the one.
Yes. Yes.
Good job, Chris.
There's no love for Quaxley in this house.
No. Unfortunately not. Not that Quaxley does not deserve love, but not from the 4 of us.
I mean, I feel like as a community, Quaxley definitely got the least love for Scarlet and Violet.
The people that do love Quaxley a lot.
Deeply.
And honestly, like, Quackwavol's kind of awesome. Yeah. Like, it's hilarious, and I love it.
I think it's
but not as much as Fuecoco, my empty-headed boy.
Quaquaval has one of the best running animations I've ever seen.
Oh, Jesus.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Anyway, there's that special research for the season, and it's for freezies, so don't pass up on that. Well, this is both surprising and not surprising, but there's going to be a timed investigation on the Master Ball again. Yes. Embark on the path to mastery, trainers. A timed investigation is a lengthy series of challenges available during a set period of time. Seeing this journey through will offer some of the rarest rewards you can obtain in Pokemon Go. Timed investigation Master Ball will be available throughout Pokemon Go Adventures Abound. Complete the timed investigation by Tuesday, November 21st at 8 p.m. Local time to receive the very best Pokeball with the ultimate level of performance, the Master Ball. When you use it, you can catch anything without fail. It plays an animation, so you don't even get the chance of dropping it, which would be hilarious. But no. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard tell that you can't hold more than one at a time.
I have seen anecdotal evidence to the contrary. I've heard accounts of people completing this research and having the Master Ball in their bag and being able to add to it.
Really? Okay, this is good news. This was good news. Okay, then I can tell my sister that I was wrong because she was like, "What? I never want to use it."
The initial announcement, and then I think they went back and changed it.
Okay, okay, good. I'm glad somebody here knew. My goodness.
Someone posted a video of someone claiming their second Master Ball in the Discord. So
there you go.
Oh, good.
You can go check video proof to see an inventory with 2 Master Balls.
I don't need to because I believe you guys, but maybe I will go check just anyway.
Well, that's a dangerous precedent, Chris.
Yeah, it is. It's okay. I'm here for danger.
I've got, it'll be easy. Like by the end of 3 months, the only one that worries me is 60 raids. Like, I don't know.
I'm a little worried about that one too right now.
Like, I don't, it's the only category that I haven't even put a dent in yet because I haven't done a single raid since the season started. And I'm a little nervous.
Have we all caught our 1,000 Pokemon?
Ooh,
No.
I doubt it.
Not yet.
Okay.
Tomorrow, because I'll be out for raid hour.
Okay, good deal.
I'll play a ton tomorrow.
Ooh, raid hour will be really good for you then. You like what? Because you do how many normally during a raid hour? Like 8, 9?
I only do like 5. So
okay.
I'm hoping, like 5 a week if I don't skip any.
Got to catch some of those 1-star raids with your free passes.
That's what I'm telling my friends to do. I have a friend with a little 6-year-old and they're not putting money in the game. And I'm like, you got to raid every day, a 1-star raid. They really want to do the Zapdos raids and can't. And it makes me sad because I can't like remote in and help them. They don't have, they're trying to complete the Mew research, the all-in-one 151, and don't have the Zapdos. And they can't raid it because it's Shadow and it's only local. Oof. I feel very bad for them.
Yeah. Well, that's, again, very, very good news. I'm happy to spread the good word that we can hold more than one Master Ball at a time. So, seasonal rotations. This is the important stuff. The most important thing we could possibly talk about is after all of our complaining last season, and by our, I mean me and Kyle, you two are agnostic to this. Congratulations. But all of our complaint about the research breakthrough, did they do what we thought that they would do and remove Gumi from the pool now that he's good? The answer is no. But here's what the pool is. Let's just take a look. Galarian Farfetch'd, Larvitar, Sableye, Bagon, Furfrou, and Gumi. I am happy to say that everything in this list can shine, so that's good. But do we think it's a good pool this time?
No.
No.
Okay.
No. However, I realized panicking before going to Japan, like I needed more Furfrou to do the thing, to do the trims.
Oh, the trim,
I didn't have any, so I'm gonna collect them now. I'm gonna save Furfrou so when I travel, I can do the different trims.
Because you need candy for the trim, right?
I think you need a little bit of candy for the trim, but I just need enough puppies to do all the different trims, and I didn't have enough. I didn't keep any, so I need to save them for when I go next.
What Furfrou drip was available in Japan?
You could get the star trim.
Okay.
And I don't know what it's called. Kabuki trim?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think is what it's called. But yeah, I need more of these.
Okay,
I don't have enough.
Aside from that one specific use case.
Yes. I'm telling all of you out there, if you travel, you need to hoard those. So you can trade them to other people. Because people wanted mine from North America, and I
have a quick thing. I met PvPer Bird Power when I was in Osaka for GOFest, one of the world's qualifiers, and she asked me what kind of Oricorio I have, and the answer is the pink one, which you can't get in the US. So she's like, "Oh, do you mind? Can I trade it off of you?" And I look at my storage, and I'm I've only got one, and it's a rank 2 for Great League, and this is why I love the. This is why I love the PvP community, because she said, "Oh yeah, no, I understand." Not why are you keeping a Great League rank 2 Oricorio? She got it. She was like, if that thing, one move update away.
One
Could
move
be
update
something
away.
on that.
One limited cup away.
Okay.
Oh
It's
my
good to know
God.
that I wouldn't have been able to trade you for a pink or a Choreo. It's good to know
you
that
had one?
I don't have. I couldn't have traded you.
Yeah, it couldn't.
Like it wouldn't have. I forgot to ask you. But it wouldn't have mattered.
Yep.
Yeah, I often forget that those are a thing, and so every once in a while I'll go back and look at my Oricorio, or like, did I hold on to my gimme ghouls? Wait, no, I accidentally transferred all of them. Stuff like that you just don't think about. Like I caught up in mass transfers. Yeah.
Mhm.
Feel that. Anyway, so seasonal breakthrough. Anybody else got the research breakthrough opinions? No? Yes? Great.
Other than that one use case.
That's right. Get bag on out of here. That's my one vote. Gumi Shiny Stain. Good news for everybody.
Sableye bonus dust.
Yeah, that's
Sableye
fine.
can stay.
That's why bag on's gotta go. Yep. Different areas. If you're in the cities, rather vaguely cities, you can expect to see, amongst other things, Gengar, Gulpin, Beldum, Tranquil. That's so funny. That's in there. Scraggy, Gothita, and Dedenne. The only thing off this list that cannot be shiny is Tranquil.
Yep.
Great list. Of course, and more. And then in the forests, if you find yourself surrounded by trees and nothing else, you can expect to see Chansey, Staravia, Lopunny. There you go. D5, Lopunny. Shout out.
New improved Lopunny.
That's right. We haven't gotten there yet. No spoilers.
We will. Yeah, sorry.
Croagunk, Shelmet, Morlul, and Oranguru, and more. In the mountains, if you're out for a hike, maybe, and nowhere out here, but maybe somewhere else in the world, Onyx, Sableye, Aggron, Darumaka, Golett, Fletchinder, Togedemaru, and more. If you're having a bit of a beach day, maybe near some water, you'll see Slowbro, Shelder, Pelipper, Carablast. Why is Carablast in this pool?
It's blue and so is the water.
You know what? Good point. Gumi, Dewpider, and Sandy Gast, and more. If you're in the northern hemisphere, you can expect to see the stylings of Chikorita, Cyndaquil. He came back home. We love it. Totodile, Larvitar, Autumnal Deerling, Tyrant, and Amara. In the southern hemisphere, you can see Snivy, Tepig, Oshawott. You can have them. Please take them. Tirtuga, Archon, Deerling, but the spring form, and Dino. Those are all of the wild spawns. Each of you, let's see. Anybody got a highlight for cities? What's a big takeaway from cities? Anything good?
Beldum.
Yeah.
Master League.
Minor correction. Gothita can't be shiny. So.
Oh, it can't?
That shiny's still not out yet.
What?
Yeah.
I could have sworn. This happens a
the
lot.
infographic is even
Mandela
actually
effect.
correct this time on the website.
It's correct this time, and I'm wrong? What?
No, hang on.
My God. Hold on just a second.
Doesn't seem right.
What about forests? Shout out for any particular spawn there?
I mean, you know mine.
Croagunk and Lopunny, I guess, yeah. Of course, we're just looking at it from, more me, I'm looking at it from the PvP perspective. So, like, Croagunk is probably most useful, then, to a lesser extent, Chansey and Lopunny. And Oranguru as well has some play in limited cups.
But it's also a new shiny, and we love that.
And a new shiny. So you can take down your foe with a shiny monkey.
You sure can, and he's pink. It's great. What about the mountains? One shout out?
Togedemaru.
Onyx, I was going to say.
Oh.
Also,
There's good one. Oh, for Celix, new and improved, yeah.
Kyle, you looking at that Golett?
I am. And Golett and Sableye, both great. Love it. I don't want to see a wild Aggron. That's just going to probably break my heart. So.
So much dust, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you can catch it, it's probably just going to run away. Yeah, I don't like Togedemaru.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Is it weird that whenever I see Darumaka, I think of Kyle because of his Discord handle?
Durzaka.
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Daruzaka. Yeah, I like that. It fits right in.
We need a Darumaka with the Kyle fro.
We do. Oh my gosh. That's certainly not Zen mode though. So whatever we get new forms. You
heard it here. Somebody make it happen. Please make it happen.
Kyle form Darumaka.
Send in an acrylic on canvas to our PO box and we'll hang it up. Beaches and water. One shout out.
Pelipper.
I mean,
Pelipper.
The Goomster.
Shelter.
Shelter? Oh,
Shelter.
Stardust.
Stardust. Also, Sandy
Stardust.
Gast. Sandy Gast is like not existed since it came out. So yeah.
That's true. That's true. I think it was under Rainy Lures though, right? Or something like that.
I have no idea.
Potentially.
It was not really available.
It was at Tasks. It was really in Tasks. So
There you go. Yep.
I have been beaten by one Sandy Gast in Palisand in PvP.
amazing.
Interesting.
Just because of the surprise, or because it was legitimately very competitive and good?
I was already on the back foot, and then the Palisand came out and just finished me off.
Sandcastle. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, honestly, even like a real fight, like I wouldn't expect in a street fight for someone to come at me with a sandcastle either. So very understandable.
In a street fight, probably much less useful because that it doesn't really hold up well when it's being used against a real life human being. It just kind of crumbles. Much like I would in a fight, just crumbles.
Like a sandcastle. That's right. Got you. An imposing demeanor, but crumbles underfoot. I understand. Let's take a look at eggs really quick. But in Northern and Southern Hemisphere, you get what you get. That's just how it works. Sorry about that. We don't make the rules. In eggs, a 2-kilometer pool will see the likes of Chinchou, Metatite, Larvesta, Fomantis, and Lechonk. Lechonk was only added as of today, the 5th. 5-kilometer pool will feature Lickitung, Gligar, Larvesta, and then the 3 Paldean starters, Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and the other one. 7-kilometer eggs will include Hisuian Growlithe, Hisuian Voltorb, Hisuian Quillfish, and Hisuian Sneasel. Don't do that. Probably only do 7-kilometer eggs if they're an event, or you don't have any of those Hisuians right now. 10-kilometer eggs will feature Larvesta, Carbink, Goomy, Jangmo-O, and Frigibax. Frigibax won't be available until, I don't think, the 10th when it's actually released. I don't think it's in 10-kilometer eggs early. I believe it's on the 10th for the Ultra Unlock Part 2 version when it actually comes to the game. The 15th.
Yep. 15th at 8 p.m. local.
Huh. Wild. The rest of the pool is cool. Carbink has now become like a thing that people chase because they want the candy for their DNC. Yep. Adventure Sync 5-kilometer eggs will feature Cranidos, Shieldon, Happiny, Munchlax, and Lomomola. Nothing too notable going on there that reeks of similarity to previous seasons. And Adventure Sync 10-kilometer eggs will feature Gibble, Goomy, Rockruff, and Jangmo-O. And you know what? I also got to say, I've seen Jangmo-O in the wild. I've seen like 3.
Yep, me too.
What's up with that, y'all?
I think it's just part of the seasonal rotations. Like I've seen Tyranitar in the wild as well. I think they just put out a couple different It's part of the and more that you get for the season.
Yeah,
they're pushing the pseudos like generation by generation. So now we have Frigibax. They're like, all right, Jangmo-O can be a little more common.
Yeah, it was wild. I was like, whoa,
yeah,
a Jangmo, whoa, my goodness. Okay, seasonal bonuses. So let's move on from that. No left track needed. Seasonal bonuses open up to 40 gifts per day and hold up to 40 gifts in your inventory. Great. Increased damage when participating in raids with a friend. Isn't this supposed? Oh wait, no, that's remote. Now they made a thing. So I wonder if this includes when you're remoting in with a friend too. It's got to, right? I
would guess so, because it doesn't specify in person.
I would assume so as well. Yeah, so increased damage when participating in friends in raids with a friend, hopefully making up for some of that gap we were talking about with Shadow Zapdos. We'll see. And increased experience from going up a friendship level. I believe it is 1.5 times based on some of the math my sister and I were doing when she noted the increase during Charmander Community Day.
Pretty great.
So yeah, that is really, really good. So if you're hurting for XP, now more than ever, friendship bonuses are just bank.
Yeah.
So an egged best friend interaction would be 275,000 XP?
300.
300.
Just 300 even, because it's 100K otherwise, 50% more for the season, and then double for a lucky egg.
I thought it would... Oh, yeah, you're right.
I mean, I can
did
confirm.
the calculation of... I think
because
I counted
you're asking
it as
us to do
doubling
math.
and doubling and then applying the 1.5.
Yeah.
So, which would still be 300. So
I was told there would be no
don't
math.
mind me.
Yeah. Cut it with the math.
Who told you that, Chris?
I
Someone keeps telling you these things. I don't know who. You're the boss. Like, who's telling you? Don't worry.
I'm telling me. I'm the one telling me.
It's like a boss not checking in with his employees, though.
That's right. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's just go back and fix the live doc. He was always here. Yeah, of course. We have a rule here. It's okay to gaslight about math. And only math. All right, so that's the seasonal overview here. Nothing was forgotten this time, not like last time when I forgot to say the bonuses. But here we go. So September is upon us, and nested within this new season of Adventures Abound is September doing its own thing. So what does that entail? Well, quite a few things, and to kick it off real hot, we'll start with the Pokestop showcases. Yahoo! So running from now until the 9th is Lechonk. I don't know if it's big or small, but it's Lechonk. September 10th through the 13th is Nimble, who we'll talk about in a moment here. September 14th through the 15th is Palmy. Same deal. We'll talk about it in a moment. September 17th from 2 to 5 is going to be Oddish. That does coincide with an Oddish research day, so just a heads up there. September 20th through the 22nd will be Spoink, and that will coincide with the Psychic Spectacular as well. I typed in Grubbin on the 23rd, but I meant to type in September 23rd will be Grubbin and Vikavolt. And that will go
on the 23rd of Grubbin.
Yeah.
The year
I'm
of
excited for the
year of
23rd
our
of
Grubbin. That's going to be Grubbin Community Day. You don't know that yet. That's a spoiler territory thing. September 27th to the 29th is Growlithe, regular. Don't get too excited. But now you can on September 30th through October 2nd to Sui and Growlithe. All of those 7-kilometer eggs you've hatched will now finally come to use. And you can have your Hisui and Growlithe out there. Okay. Do we like showcases here? I know Kyle's opinion, but I don't know you guys.
I like them. I
enjoyed 'em.
have 3 near me. I have some near me, and I can go around like in some kind of backwoods places where nobody puts in, and I can just win. So I'm the only one in it. It's amazing.
Love that. We love that for you. Yes.
Yeah, I like them. Probably the biggest reason that I like them is because the first one I participated in, I won. And that was like 60 people in that one too. So I just happened to have like a really chunky Squirtle.
Wow, 60 people.
Yeah.
Chunky Squirtle. I like the story where it's going. Do you remember how many points it was? Was it like the mid 900?
Yeah, that sounds right. I think it was 900 and something.
It would have to be in a 60-person one. So the maximum is 1,000, right? Within its range. Okay. That's what people are thinking. And so if you got to be at like 950 plus, like 956, 958, something like that.
That does sound right. Yeah.
I could also be very wrong. Who knows if that's all true or not? But that's the knowledge I've been running off of and seems to hold out. So speaking of holdouts, just kidding. 2 returning mega raids in mega raids for this month. Mega Manectric through from the 1st through the 16th. And then Mega Gardevoirs picking up the baton from the 16th and running through the finish line on October 6th. But speaking of raids, we've got some 5-star raids as well. They did capitalize the R in raids this time. Just pointing it out there for those of you keeping score at home. September 1st through the 8th, you're going to see Kartana in the Northern Hemisphere, then Celesteela in the Southern Hemisphere. And then, but wait, they flip-flop September 8th through the 16th. Celesteela in the Northern Hemisphere and Kartana in the Southern Hemisphere. September 16th through the 23rd is going to be Burn Drive Genesect, which I believe will be its shiny debut for this drive, so that's pretty cool. A red Genesect with a red drive on the back. It matches, and that's worth noting. All right.
Coordinated.
Absolutely. V-coordinated. September 23rd through October 6th, we'll see them back. That's right, the legendary beasts, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. It's been kind of a hot minute. It's been like, what, a year since we've seen them? Less than? More than? I feel like it's around a year.
I don't keep track. I'm not going to
lie. I don't know what time it is.
Absolutely no idea.
Yeah, well, whenever my poor baby Suicune isn't around, I do notice. So
I have 2 Hundo Raikou and a 98% shiny, so I think I will be rating those.
Yeah,
I think
you need a
I
Shundo
think
still.
I need to power some of these up.
Raikou was good. Isn't Entei still up there in fire DPS?
Yeah,
Kyle?
it is.
Good. And Suicune is just the most fashionable, so therefore inherently should be rated to the fullest. Yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, and yes, everybody in between. Spotlight hours include, there's 4 of them this month. Don't get too excited. Except you should be for the one that was today. It was a Wooper. Yeah. From it was on September 5th, Wooper. 2 times experience for evolving. September 12th will be Mankey for 2 times, or with 2 times candy for catching. September 19th is Giraffe Rig with 2 times experience for catching. And September 26th is regular Growlithe with 2 times Stardust for catching. Are any of these really great for any reason or another?
Stardust.
Yeah. Stardust.
Primeape has play in Great League and actually very underutilized in Ultra League, probably because it is an XL Pokemon in Ultra League and there are probably better fighters out there. But also, I've been hearing a lot of hype for the eventual arrival of what's it called? The
Annihilate.
The Guardian one. Annihilate, yeah. Fire Ghost, I believe it is. So
Fighting Ghost. Yeah.
Fighting Ghost.
Oh, Fighting Ghost, yes. There are no other Fighting Ghosts in the game right now. Fighting Ghost are really interesting typing.
Maybe we'll get Marshadow first.
Is that also Fighting Ghost?
It is, but it's a mythical, so...
Ooh.
Yeah. Annihilate is just really good, too.
Yeah.
I think it's got pretty impressive base stats, so I think it should translate well. Yeah,
so
plus
could
I
it
think
be
it'll
Master
be a
League Pokemon?
beast. Yeah, it'll be a beast, I think, in Master League.
Yeah.
Depending on its stats. It might be a little too glassy for Great League if I'm thinking of something like a Gengar. Like, it's impressive stats, but just very glassy is kind of how I think Annihilate might be. But we'll have to see when it comes out.
Yeah, I mean, depending on movesets, it might be like a counter user that doesn't get completely crushed by like Togekiss or something. Like you might be able to hit back with like a Shadow Ball at least.
It also takes neutral damage from Dark, right? Because of the fighting?
That's right. There's not much Dark happening in Master League, though. There is Zarude. I think that's the only thing I can think of that's...
Yveltal?
Yep, Yveltal.
You said in Master League, right?
Yeah, Master League.
Oh, but I don't have to worry about that.
Man, Fighting Ghost has 3 double resistances.
The resistances are interesting, so...
And
I'm ready.
And they are what?
Fighting and
fighting
normal and bug, yeah.
Okay.
And it also resists poison and rock, but you know.
We love that.
4 weaknesses, which is not good.
4? That's not bad, though, in the world of weaknesses.
No, that's...
let me go.
That's
Ghost,
not
Flying, Fairy, and... something else.
Psychic.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go.
I like this guessing game.
Well, that'll be cool. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. That is cool. I'm looking forward to Annihilate. Stats aside, just a really cool Pokemon. So it's great. For raid hours, this is going to mirror what we just said were the rating windows, but just in case you weren't listening and you want to know for sure. On September 6th, it's Kartana in the Northern Hemisphere, Celesteela in the Southern. On September 13th, it's Celesteela in the Northern and Kartana in the Southern Hemisphere. On the 20th of September will be Burn Drive Genesect. Remember, shiny, shiny, shiny. September 27th will be all 3 of the legendary beasts, Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. And then lastly, for September in particular, we've got an overview of events that are happening. The first one that was listed already happened. It's gone. It's done. It was Charmander Community Day Classic. I know. We were all there. I have feelings. I do. We talked about it last week. Oh, okay. I do have to pose to the 2 of you, though. Fish and DeFi, how long do they think they can get away with Charmander Community Day Classics? Coming back over and over and over again. Do you think we'll see another one?
Yes. Undoubtedly we'll see another one.
Why?
I don't think it'll be for a while. like maybe 2 years from now, but it'll come back. Like Charizard is one of the most popular Pokemon.
I know, but why can't we have like a Charizard research day or something instead? Like
because it gets people out, Chris, and it feels so bad to say
out of the house.
Like,
Community Day I've played in a long time on purpose.
Man.
I don't even remember the last Community Day right now, just off the top of my head. What was Froakie? Has it already been that long?
Yeah, it was.
Froakie was August. Yeah,
I went out. I played Froakie all day. Saw a couple of people at the park. Same park. Went out for Charmander. I saw 50 people playing Pokemon Go.
Right.
People come out for Charmander and Charizard. As much as we might not like it, it's just a fact. And Niantic and the Pokemon Company know this.
Kyle, I'm going to level with you. While you and I don't agree, musical stuff, like musical tastes, we don't agree. You and I can both agree on that the top 40 chart in any given country proves that the majority of people lack taste.
Yes, we can confirm. Confirm.
Yep.
And that's
so okay. I don't buy that. I mean, I buy it from a monetary standpoint, but just because there's more people out doesn't mean they're right. In my heart, they're wrong.
I mean, the people that are out are not the ones that are right or wrong.
They're the problem.
They are the problem.
They're the problem.
It's Niantic and the Pokemon Company who's right or wrong for leaning on Charmander, and unfortunately, they're right.
Yeah. I feel like you're punishing Charizard just for the simple fact that it's popular. I think it's a good Pokemon.
We should.
I like Charizard. I do.
Yeah.
It's my favorite of the
Just that it doesn't deserve its popularity.
Yeah, no, Billionaire shouldn't exist, and Charizard doesn't deserve another Community Classic.
I don't know. We can say too, Fish, and I can also say Charizard's very popular in PvP in the Great League, so that gives people an opportunity to get a Great League level 1, get candy for it, get the moves.
It would be nice. Now, I know that it's not going to happen, but the chosen moveset for the moveset of choice for Charizard is Blast Burn and Wing Attack as a fast move. Now, that's not going to happen just because the 2 original Community Days that Charmander has had, the moves have been Blast Burn and Dragon Breath. So I totally get why that was the moveset you could get by evolving this time. I just, in a perfect world, I wish that you could have gotten Wing Attack instead of Dragon Breath.
Is Wing Attack Legacy?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah. It's got a lot of exclusive moves. So Blast Burn, Dragon Breath, and Wing Attack.
I didn't know that about Wing Attack.
Or Ember as well. I think it's got another fire fast move that's also elite.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I think it'd be really interesting if Niantic moving forward, and I know this is asking a lot, but if for Pokemon that have several legacy moves like that fall into this category of so popular we can't say no, because memes aside, I completely understand. I think everybody understands why Charmander is featured several times over, and especially Charizard. It'd be great if they'd be like, yeah, if you evolve during this 1 hour, you can get these 2 moves. If you evolve during this second hour, you can get these 2 moves, and then third hour this, and then it repeats for the next 3 hours afterwards too in like a rotation. So that you can kind of pick and choose. Even if the right combination isn't what you want, you can get the one thing that you never got or something like that, right? That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, Cyndaquil, just no love. No love. Okay. So moving on from that, we've got September 5th. This is our first event here. September 5th through the 10th is a Paldean adventure. That's what's going on right now outside of your window. I mean, through your phone screen. September 10th through the 15th is Ultra Unlock Paldea. Consider it a Paldean adventure part 2. Really, quite honestly. September 17th is Oddish Research Day from 2 to 5 p.m. September 20th through the 24th is Psychic Spectacular Day, and nestled in that weekend slot during Psychic Spectacular is Grubbin Community Day on September 23rd. An interesting choice, but maybe not the worst. We'll get to Grubbin Community Day and its details at the end of the news here, so don't want to get ahead of ourselves. And on September 27th through October 2nd is the Out to Play event. Not entirely sure what that's going to entail. I think any speculation we have will largely just be unfounded. Other than, I don't know, maybe the verbiage is like it wants to go outside. Isn't that kind of always the case? I mean,
yeah, like what reward do you give for going out to play?
I don't know. It'd be really funny
like
if
Adventure Week to me.
It does sound like Adventure Week, and it is about a week long. Are they going to give us 2 Adventure Weeks, man?
No.
Okay. Are you sure?
It's called Out of. What is it? Out of Play, or is that a typo,
Out to Play? Out to Play.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of typos on these notes. I apologize. Get out of here. It's called Out to Play. Yeah. The last one I know appeals to you, Kyle. September 30th is Azurill Hatch Day. Woo! Markedly less exciting than Riolu Hatch Day, but for some, Azurill might yet be a chase.
I mean,
Candy
that's
XL.
fine, but like we've had like Meryl Battle Day, and I know it's not Azurill, but it feels kind of weird that your second ever Hatch Day is a Pokemon that Shiny's already been featured for like a really long time. And accessible.
You, unlike battlers, and there's 2 in this call right now, you have 1 Azurill made. You don't have 15 for any possible situation that could have happened.
True, but you really want to hatch your Azurill for the resources for that?
I don't know. Do we? PvPers?
I don't think so.
No, you wouldn't want hatch IVs.
Right.
For Azumarill
before XL.
Hang on, what's my high rank Azumarill now? I've got to check it out because Azumarill was one of those ones that does max out very close to 1500. So
yeah, but you wouldn't. You don't want an attack of 10.
Yeah, at level 50, I know if you're going to 50, you want low attack. But if you only can take it to 40,
you're right.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, so my rank 3 Azumarill has 0 attack.
For Great League or Ultra League?
For Great League, yeah. Azumarill doesn't get the stats to get to Ultra League. If they have Mega Azumarill one day, I would love to see that.
Mega Azumarill.
Yeah.
Don't wish that evil on us.
Does not yet exist, Ricky Bobby, but it could. My goodness. Okay.
I'm picturing like Azumarill crossed with Godzilla.
Ooh. Azillaru? Or
Azillaru?
Azillaru?
Azira?
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so a Paldean adventure. Let's talk about the first event here. September 5th through the 10th. This is already happening, and likely will be still happening by the time you hear this episode. Trainers Adventures Abound. They said the thing. With a new season in Pokemon GO as Pokemon first discovered in the Paldea region make their debuts. Thanks to your efforts during Pokemon GO Fest 2023, you've also earned Ultra Unlock bonuses for a new event, a Paldean adventure. Grab your friends and get ready to make memories while celebrating the start of the new adventures with more bonuses and Pokemon making their Pokemon GO debuts. When is this? It's already started. It's going to be running through Sunday, September 10th at 10 a.m. local time. That's kind of a lie. We'll get to that in a moment. Pokemon debuts include the Sprigatito line all the way through Meowscarada, Fuecoco through Skeledirge, Quaxley through Quaquaval, and Lechonk in both of its gendered male and female forms for Oinkologne. So yeah, that's cool. Look, Lechonk can be shiny out the gate, which is pretty awesome because it's shiny as pink, and that's adorable. We love that. Ultra Unlock bonus. Unknown will appear globally in raids, and 1-star raids will get Unknown ADELP, which do together not only spell Adelp, but also Paldea if you use A twice. I think that's what they were going for there, right? That sounds right to me.
Yes.
Thank you.
That was the goal.
Appreciate that. Ultra Unlock bonus. Timed research featuring encounters with Lechonk will be available throughout the event. And not only is Lechonk making its Pokemon GO debut, but like we said, it's going to be shiny. They waited until after they put the shiny mark on it first, earlier in the thing, and then they spelled it out here. Love that. Ultra Unlock, a Paldean adventure event bonuses. Pokestops may turn gold without a golden lure module. We talked about this before when we were talking about Go Fest and our coverage of those events. A golden stop and a Pokestop that is currently running a golden lure are not the same thing. Nope. They're just mostly the same thing.
They're similar.
Yeah. Yeah. If you use a golden lure, it will give you coins when you spin it, increased items, but you also have a small chance of Gimmighoul actually spawning within its radius. If it's a golden stop without the assistance of a lure, that Gimmighoul chance is zilch. That's a nada. That's a no-go. Not going to happen. Okay, I'm glad we covered that. 4 times experience for catching, 4 times Stardust for catching as well. That's actually super understated right now in the community. Those are massive. And I think starting tomorrow, we're probably going to see some people being like, oh, I just went out and played all day on my day off, and I walked away with like 2 million Stardust because that's what I do. I'm like, okay,
Can I make a comment, though, about that?
You're always welcome to make a comment about anything, Kyle.
Especially, so it's me. So I'm going to start off with this. Very annoying that 4 times catch experience is featured on an event where the majority of our spawns are starters.
Oh, boo-hoo, dude.
I'm not even joking. I literally just threw 3 excellent Ultra Balls at a Sprigatito, and it ran from me.
Okay. Counterpoint, why aren't you using silver pineapples on the new babies, dude?
I used a pineapple berry because that's usually what I do.
Silver pineapples, do it.
Okay,
It'll
but the
change
point
your
is
life.
that's another step in time. It's like, of course, it's a great bonus, but why has it got to be with starters with such low catch rates?
I don't want to.
Because you can't have it all, Kyle.
Yeah. You can with the right.
I just want the experience. Dang it.
With the right headspace, Kyle, you can have it all. This is fine. Everything is fine. Here, how about this? I got one more carrot on the stick for you, Kyle. Maybe this will make you feel differently. The following Pokemon are more likely to appear as shiny Pokemon during the event. It's quite the lineup: Hoppip, Houndour, Buizel, and Fletchling.
Yay. Your community day Pokemon.
I knew you'd come around. That's right. But where will we see those Pokemon? Oh, in the wild encounters, which includes those 4 Pokemon and also 4 other Pokemon we've also mentioned: Sprigatito, Fuecoco, Quaxley, and Lechonk. So there's that. In raids, 1 star. It's got the unknown in it, Adelp, and all that. 3-star raids will feature Machamp, Camerupt, Metagross, and Turtonator. If you are still hunting that Turtonator shiny like most people are, that's right. There you go. 5-star raids, we covered this. Kartana and Celesteela, they're doing some hemisphere nonsense. Check your calendars. Make sure you know what's going on. Mega raids will feature Mega Manectric. Yep. It's good. I don't think we've had Manectric for a couple of months, so that's nice, right?
Yeah. I'm just waiting on Gardevoir to come back. Like, that's one I forgot
Real
to raid
soon.
that one, so
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yep.
Because it's a good pair of typings to have a Mega 4 to get the bonus.
And it's already on the calendar. It's at the end of this month. You got it. You just got to wait a little bit longer.
Yep.
Good stuff. Okay. Speaking of good stuff, those 7-kilometer eggs we were talking about before, well, you're in luck. Its first shakeup is happening right now during this event. It's going to feature Sprigatito, Fuecoco, Quaxley, and Lechonk. So I'm really hoping Lechonk is very, very common, and this is kind of used for targeting. But at the same time, I never thought I would say that you could target Lechonk's shiny in 7-kilometer eggs. But today's a new day, and here's where we are. Field Research Task Encounters will feature, can you guess? Yeah, it's Sprigatito, Fuecoco, Quaxley, and Lechonk. There's also collection challenges. There's 4 of them, and they give you like Lechonk. Wait, no, those don't give you Lechonk encounters. The special research do. But the collection challenge encounters give you like Sprigatito, Fuecoco.
Yeah, one of each for each of the challenges.
Right. And then there's going to be new avatar items, although they're not going to be in the game until the 13th when the DLC for Scarlet and Violet drop. But it's going to be a Paldea set, a Paldea backpack, and Paldean sandals as well. It looks cool. It's kind of like a kimono-looking travel outfit. I'm not entirely sure how else to describe that, but if I had the words, I would. Anybody else have?
Can I be real with you guys for a
Please.
moment? So I didn't know about the collection challenges until you said something, because there's just so much in my Today View right now.
Yeah.
With Master Ball, the Go Battle League timed research, and everything else. I didn't even notice those collection challenges were there. I swiped right past them. So I'm going to go claim all those now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because
Just tell
they're
us if
all
there's any
very,
shinies.
very easy. They're like three
Yeah,
Pokemon
they're
each.
free
2 or 3
Pokemon.
One of them, I think, is only 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lechonk
Yeah,
is
the
just
Lechonk
Lechonk
one.
and
Yeah.
Fletchling.
Fletchling and Lechonk. Yep. And that gives you a Lechonk.
Yep.
Phenomenal.
But I just got one. So there's that. But, honestly, this next piece of news is kind of just a continuation because it is just a continuation of that very same event. Ultra Unlock Paldea. Congratulations, trainers. Thanks to your efforts during Pokemon Go Fest 2023, you've not only earned Ultra Unlock bonuses for the event celebrating the arrival of Pokemon first discovered in the Paldean region, a Paldean adventure, but you've also activated a whole new event, air quotes, Ultra Unlock Paldea. Get ready to celebrate the start of a new adventure with even more new Pokemon debuts. And you're probably thinking, Chris, why are you being so down about the second event? Why? It's not just copy and paste. Oh, but it kind of is. The differences are exciting, though. I want to be on record for that. The differences are exciting. For instance, Pokemon debuts. Nimble and its evolution, Low Kicks, Let's Go. And then the Pawmi line, which includes Pawmi, Pawmo, and Pawmot. Bombardier is coming to the game. It's going to be shiny available too, which is pretty sweet. And then Frigibax, Arctibax, and Baxcalibur, which is the pseudo for this generation. Kyle, is that right? I didn't get that wrong, right?
Yes,
okay.
it is actually a pseudo legendary. Correct.
Woo. Yeah, that's coming to the game too, so that's cool. Bonuses for this event, well, they're the same as the Paldea event bonuses. The 4 times Stardust and XP for catching, and the gold stop stuff, and the shiny increase as well for Fletchling, the other 3. Yeah. Paid timed research titled I've Got Your Back. It's going to be available for $5. And it'll give you 2 encounters with Pawmi, a Pawmi backpack avatar item, which is what you're really paying for, let's be honest. 3 regular rare candy, 1 regular incubator, 10 silver pineapple berries, 921 Stardust, really breaking the bank there, and 9,210 experience. You're probably not going to level up off of that. You're paying for the backpack. Let's be real. And it's cute. Don't get me wrong. It's cute.
Yep.
Am I the only person here that's seen it?
You are. Oh,
okay.
It is actually. It's kind of cute. Like if you like Pawmi, it's it's
just hanging out. Yeah. Wild encounters are the same as the Paldea event, with the addition of 3 very important Pokemon: Nimble, Pawmi, and Frigibax. Yes, Frigibax will be available in the wild too, which is sweet. Field Research task encounters include event-themed tasks that are available will reward encounters with Pawmi. So while in the previous part it gave you encounters with Sprigatito, Fuecoco, Quaxley, and Lechonk, in part 2, that's again running from the 10th through the 15th, those will feature only Pawmi if you get the event-themed ones. So that's pretty cool. It kind of takes a little bit of a break from the starter pool, right? So there's that. So I'm going to take a moment to pause. With the Paldea event and its Ultra Unlock extension there in its entirety, how do we feel about this as a announcement, release, debut of an entire generation of Pokemon to go? With, of course, the caveat of Gimme Ghoul before somebody brings it up. You're right.
I'm just really happy to have my boy in game.
Yeah, I love Fuecoco. So
I love Fuecoco so much.
Yeah.
I have 2 things I want to bring up. One, I saw a post on Reddit that I feel like I need to share. With the addition of the Paldean Pokemon to the game, Pokemon Go now has the biggest Pokedex of any Pokemon game. Period. Just any Pokemon game.
It can be done.
see, Game Freak. It can be done. It's like we're now at like 813, and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was the last one with a full dex at like 803, something like that.
Oh my gosh!
Wow. Also, then the second thing I need to say is I called it. I do believe that these are everybody minus Frigibax was what I said was going to come before we went to Go Fest. So.
Yeah, I think if you swap out Frigibax for our original Tarantula.
Yeah.
I think
would have guessed.
About right.
It is kind of interesting. We were reading earlier. Frigibax is only in the wild right now. It's not in eggs until this event is over. So like that's an important distinction that's kind of confusing if you read all of the information back to back.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even in 1-star raids because those are occupied with unknown, which is where I would have thought they would have thrown Frigibacks.
No,
otherwise.
You remember when they released Jangmo-O? It was in 10K eggs, fair enough, but it was also in the wild, like impossible to find unless you had not caught one and could see it on the shadow. So yeah. I expect Frigibacks to be very similar. Good luck finding one.
They'll be around. We'll find them. It'll be fine.
Okay.
I hope so because of the goals I already set for myself this week. Oh my gosh. Don't be like that.
Well, you're not going to get that goal done for Frigibacks. Not because...
You don't know how much rare candy I have and don't have.
That's not what I'm talking about. We're going to record before Frigibacks even comes out next.
This event starts on the 10th and next Tuesday is more than 5 days away.
Yeah, but next Tuesday, you're going to have 1 day of play, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
He's figured me out. It's not going to happen, Kyle.
Would anyone else like to weigh in on the Paldean adventures?
Yeah, Fish, what do you think?
So I don't know any Pokemon outside of what is Go because is in Go because I didn't play any of the original main series games past Gen 2. So a lot of this is just syllables to me. Until I know what, because that's why I play the game as PvP, like until I know their PvP relevance, I actually don't have an opinion, positive or negative.
I think Baxcalibur is going to be on your radar from what I've read on socials from people.
That does sound familiar. Yep, I have heard that too.
So my boy is evolves into a fire ghost type. So I mean, Medi and A/Meta Core Breaker, maybe.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you know the moveset?
Same typing as Alolan Marowak. PV Poke put out a tweet. It has Incinerate as a fast move.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then it also has Shadow Ball, Flamethrower, Crunch, and Disarming Voice. Its optimal moveset being Shadow Ball and Disarming Voice. So it has a lot more interesting coverage than Alolan Marowak does. It's comparable. It's less bulky than Alolan Marowak, but you could argue that the coverage is better because it has the fairy type coverage.
What is the stat product? Do you know?
Not off the top. 1840.
1840. So that's like reasonable. That's the 1800s. I always relate that to like a Trevenant or a Frostlass. So it's not terrible. It sounds like it could be something.
I'll take something. It's honestly more than Lopunny is right now. It's higher rates than Lopunny. So
is that difficult to say, or?
I love Lopunny, but I've never said that it's viable.
Well, we will get to that.
Every Pokemon is just a complete stat rebalance away from being meta relevant. That's right. Okay, well, we've got one last piece of news here before we go into the PvP corner version of news, because they will also have some news to cover. But last thing, certainly not least, I swear, this will be cool. September 2023 Community Day. Yeah, it's Grubbin. It's Grubbin, all right. What's really funny is that on their calendar prior to Grubbin Day being announced, they had listed the showcase for September 23rd, which is the day this is happening, from 2 to 5, which is the time of this is happening, to be Grubbin Showcase. Grubbin and Vikavolt, which is its end evolutionary form. So it only made sense. And lo and behold, I think not a day later, we were greeted with the information that September Community Day on the 23rd from 2 to 5 p.m. local time will in fact be Grubbin. I just did the same thing like 3 times in true podcast fashion. Featured attack, Evolve Charge-a-Bug, which is the middle evolution, while near a magnetic lure during the event or up to 5 hours afterwards to get a Vikavolt that knows the fast attack Volt switch. Should mention that it's not just that you have to evolve near a magnetic lure in order to get the move. You have to evolve near the magnetic lure in order to evolve the Pokemon in the first place. It's it's worded a little strangely, but you will. It's necessary. You can't just be like, I don't need the move. No, you need the lure. Either way, just a heads up. But also, additionally to this time, Grubbin that evolved into Charjabug during that period will also know Volt Switch.
And that is a straight upgrade for Charjabug.
Is Charjabug good in PvP?
It is like spicy good. We've seen it in a lot of off metas, limited metas, and they actually, for the Electric Cup, have to ban it because it could be too good otherwise. Like Charjabug, it's tanky. Like it's a boss. So
yeah. It is a
boss.
Volt Switch is a straight upgrade for Charjabug.
Well, I mean, Spark is different now, and again, we will get to that, but we don't know if it's a strict upgrade at the moment.
I think it's an upgrade. I think Volt Switch is too good for it not to be an upgrade.
That will be discussed.
Okay.
This is
either way. Either way, in trainer battles it does 12 power, and in gyms and raids it does 14 power. That's true. It's written down in the notes. It got to be true. Yep.
But also, this is the first time a middle evolution's gotten anything in a Com Day, right?
Yes, I think that's true.
Yes.
It's cool. I like it. Did they specify whether you'll be able to get Volt Switch normally on Charjabug after Com Day, or whether you'll have to use an Elite TM for that?
They have not said one way or the other, but the way this is worded makes it sound like it's a legacy move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it specifically says during that period.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And it could mean that they're just going to force it because it's a fun thing to do on that day, or it could mean that it's going to be exclusive moving forward. I think either is probably a good read.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah. But there will be a special research story called Plugging Along. It's going to be available for $1 Reno and the usual stuff. Yep. Event bonuses. Now, there's 2 spots that this has been posted. Their blog post and then an infographic that they also put out. And there's 2 different bonuses. The main leading flagship bonus. It's different in each one. One of them says 3 times XP for catching, and the other one says 3 times Stardust. The sort of working theory here is that the infographic one was probably taken from some sort of template, and they didn't change the 3 times Stardust in the last one. And it's more likely that the blog post is correct with the 3 times XP for catching. So that's what we're going to roll with. But just so you know, that toss-up question does exist right now. In addition, the usual silliness, right? 2 times Candy and Candy XL for catching if you can even have Candy XL. Incense and lure modules, excluding Adventure. Incense last for 3 hours. Snapshot surprises, 5 of them. It'll be Grubbin. 1 additional special trades will require 50% less Stardust. And there's going to be 4-star raid battles featuring Charjabug for a number of hours after the fact. If you want to have more spawns, do those and hang out around those gyms in the aftermath, and you'll have increased shiny chance for even more Grubbin. So that's always good. There's going to be timed research awarding 1 magnetic lure. That'll be available from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. local time on that same day. So if you're like, but I don't have one, how am I going to get my Vikavolt? Here you go. That's how you do it.
What voice was that?
I don't know. I think trainer level 23. Yeah.
Trainer level 23.
They can't get Candy XL, so they're feeling a little sad about it. Field research. September Community Day themed field research will be available. This time, if you're catching Grubbin, they will give you additional Grubbin. There you go, Kyle. Stardust, Ultra Balls, and more. I hope the and more is even more Grubbin. That'd be nice. And then stickers, the usual deal. Spin stops, open gifts, buy them in the shop if you are so inspired. Yeah. Great. Are we all thumbs up for Grubbin Community Day? That's really the question here. Sounds good?
It's fine. I'm looking forward to the 3 times experience. Hopefully I don't know how I do catching Grubbin, so we're gonna see.
Yeah, Grubbin, I think we were talking about this via messages yesterday, Kyle, but Grubbin's one of those, it's catch circles half on the floor sort of Pokemon.
Yeah.
And those are always a little bit of a difficult thing.
Also, I have 1 comment for future trainers for this day.
Okay.
I'm playing that day. and I see a bunch of magnetic lures go down right at the start of the day, be very upset. I'm going to be very upset. And I know it's going to happen at the park that I play
It's just going to be Magnemites and
I swear to God, I will find you.
Robo Pass.
Oh, God.
Nose Pass at the lure. You will get no Grubbin.
The Pokestop will snitch on you if you put it up there. It'll tell us who did it.
I know
Walking
which one of
around.
you did this.
Which one of you level 23 trainers put down this magnetic lure?
Like,
And
I'm
we'll
sorry,
know.
it was the only lure I have. Then leave it
That's
empty.
the
Leave
voice. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, anyway, there we go. That's the news. Lots of exciting stuff happening. Wow, it's already been an hour. That a whole lot of news. We didn't lie. But the news isn't over. We get to pass on over to these fine folks right here, DeFi and Fish, for PvP Corner, but live, at least for us.
We're doing it live.
Woo!
All right. So, Fish, I don't think you're going to argue with me that we're going to speed run a lot of this update just to get down to the move changes.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I'm going to speed run the rest. Adventures Abound start date. It already happened. I hope you used your star piece. Rank reset. We have a great calendar. Fish gets his wish a little bit where the main leagues are going to rotate weekly for a good chunk of the season. So we'll have Great League 1 week, Ultra League, Master League, and quite a bit, we're going to have 2 weeks of the limited meta. So for example, first 2 weeks of the season, we have Great League and then Element Cup Remix, and then Ultra League and Element Cup Remix. So we get the limited metas for longer. That's not quite consistent throughout the whole season, but it does happen several times. Sound good, Fish?
Yes.
Done. All right. Adventures Abound Go Battle event. We're going to get one in October. We'll cover it more then, but it's going to be a full Go Battle weekend with timed research. You'll have 200 battles over the course of 2 days. Get it done. Never enough.
Too many.
So
Far too many.
and that's
I can only battle for like 6.5 hours a day. I want more than that. Why not give me 10 hours worth of battles? 12.
All right. That is going to be during the Master League premiere,
the appropriate
which
response.
I actually want to play.
Too many.
This is what we do sometimes. Master League Premiere is going to be active during that time. I actually want to play a little bit of that. Also, the Single Type Cup Great League Edition. We'll cover that more when it gets closer.
Sorry, I would like serious interjection here. So it says the active leagues will be Master League Premier and Single Type Cup. However, during the calendar that they give above, during those dates, I believe it is the all 3 open leagues. So
that's true.
I think that's what it's going to be, the all 3 open leagues. I don't think they're going to have Single Type Cup and Master Premier during Go Battle weekend.
Bummer. But you'll have, all 3 open leagues. I just want to play Master Premier. I have more tools. I want to get better at it. All right.
I mean, you'll have
TBD.
an opportunity, just not 100 battles worth in a day.
Fair. All right, TBD on that. Adventures Abound rewards. We have a Bisharp Carbink, which everybody should be collecting their candy for. It is rank number 2 in the Open Great League right now. It is a better Bastiodon. So be sure you're getting your Carbink from those rewards. Gumi, which can be shiny. Gibble, which can be shiny. Jangmo-o, which cannot. And then, of course, Reaching Legend gets you that Pika Libre, which can be shiny. Standard encounters are pretty straightforward. Some maybe a little different ones. Sneasel and Squovit are a little different there. Carbink, once you hit that rank 6, everybody is always happy to see Lickitung as an encounter. A lot of people trying to build up and get those XL candies. Phantump, we love to see as well. Not as good in Great League anymore, but I think still an okay option in Ultra League and a fan favorite for many. You also get some really good after you've hit rank 16 and up. You get the Scraggy, the Wooloo, Phalanx, and then once you hit that rank 20, you can start getting that active raid boss. That's in 5-star raids. Ace and up gets Gumi, Veteran and up gets Gibble, Expert and up gets the Jangmo-o. So lots of really cool encounters in there. Don't forget to get your timed research pass. I actually got 500 wins last season, but I didn't claim my pass right away, so I didn't actually finish. Like, according to the pass, I only did 490. But I actually, like, on my thing, it says I did 500. It's heartbreaking. Be sure you claimed your pass. Avatar items, we're going to get Gita. Gita is the champion of Paldea, so it's very appropriate during all of the Paldea news we just covered that we'll get her avatar items and pose, which is just kind of this weird arm motion.
Yeah, it is. It is just this kind of weird arm motion.
Kind of a weird arm.
Pointing to its own forehead.
Yeah. So, but same kind of thing. Ace rank, you get the gloves and the shoes. Veteran, you get the pants. Expert, you get the top. Legend gets you the pose. Maybe not the most personally exciting for me. Always exciting, though, to see a woman champion and her outfits and things featured. So, good deal for that. We have a list of the cups. We're in Element Cup Remix right now. The one thing I was excited about, I talked about Element Cup and how I came around on Element Cup. I came around to it. I'm like, okay, I like this cup now. And then they remix it and get rid of Ducklet, which is the whole reason I like the cup. It angers me, people. So we're going to skip that. Fooey on that. I'm doing the Great League.
At least I didn't put Connie back in. I mean, like...
No, yeah. So banned is Chin Chow, Cottony, Ducklet, and Salandit. Heavily agree with Salandit. Should be banned anyway. We'll have a lot of other good cups. Halloween cups coming back. That's again is a fan favorite, a really good one. Electric cup. It can't use your charge bug or your
a fan favorite.
Yeah, can't use them. We will have a catch cup. However, just like with this season, it won't be the last week, which we really, really appreciate. We love that the last week of the season is all open leagues. We love that. So the catch cup will be the second to last week, which is a huge improvement. All right, speed run done. Whew. New attacks. So let's go ahead and talk about each of the 3 new attacks, and then we'll go into the attack changes.
Did they buff Boomburst?
I love how Chris is just seeing this for the first time. All right.
Yeah, me too.
Open this is the first time.
I swear Niantic is in on the meme. I think someone.
I know.
I think Michael Steranka is in on it.
Like,
and he put that in there for us. All right.
Every season now, there's just going to be some sort of tiny change to Boomburst.
Okay. We got 3 brand new attacks in Trailblaze, which is a grass-typed charge move. We have Scorching Sands, a ground-type charge move that also has a chance to lower the opposing Pokemon's attack by 1 stage. Trailblaze increases attack by 1 stage, your own attack. Triple Axle is an ice-type attack. It's, again, it increases attack by 1 stage. So 3 new attacks, and they all have a buff, either guaranteed or by chance. So
someone had to explain that one to me. I when I first heard the name, I thought, well, Axel sounds like a steel move. Then I'm like, ice? Why ice? Ice skating, figure skating.
Yes, it's a move.
Figure
skating.
Wait.
Okay.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh.
I also when I hear Axel, I think of 2 things. I think of the axles on like a truck. And the character from Kingdom Hearts.
I'm losing my mind right now. I thought Triple Axel was just like a known figure skating thing that.
I mean, it is. Once you say like, oh yeah. I mean, like,
but it's not like where your mind immediately jumps.
Yeah, no.
I'm right there.
No, my mind definitely would be like, oh, figure skating. Anything else.
I'm not as much of a fan of figure skating as you. Sorry, Carl.
I've never watched figure skating in my life.
Which is an incredibly impressive sport, just to clarify.
Yeah, yes. we are.
It's really hard.
We are in support of figure skating. The podcast officially supports figure skating as a sport.
Yes.
All right. Attack changes. Spark was changed. I don't think it was buffed or nerfed. I think it was just changed.
Different.
It is different now. It has more power, but its energy generation went down. Astonish, energy generation went up. Psychic, power went down. X-Scissor, power went way up, but so did its energy cost.
Boo.
Aerial Ace, we can't make fun of it anymore or call it names. Its energy cost went down. Sky Attack, energy cost went up. So Sky Attack got worse. Dig got more interesting. It now has much less power, but its energy cost was also decreased, so it's spammier. Earthquake got a tiny nerf, going from 120 to 110 base power. Poltergeist got a buff, so for the handful, like 4 Pokemon that have access to that move, it's even more powerful now, gone from 140 to 150 base power. And Boom Burst energy cost got decreased. So you're still never going to use it, but its energy cost was decreased. Taking a look at who all got these moves, there's hundreds. Like there's hundreds. Like this is the longest update, but thankfully the blog post put them in chunks. So we have Volt Switch updates. The Magnemite family, as well as Regieleki, all now have the fast attack Volt Switch. The new Mudshot fast move came to Swalot, Greedent, Croagunk, and Toxicroak. Breaking Swipe came to a ton of Pokemon.
Oh my gosh.
Both Onix and Steelix, Rhydon and Rhyperior, Sceptile, Heliolisk, and Regidrago all got Breaking Swipe. Water Shuriken fast attack went to Excelgor.
Let's go.
The only other Pokemon that can learn it.
Let's go.
That's a thing. Blaze Kick availability came to Hitmonlee, Mineshow, Incineroar, Riolu, and Lucario. Razor Shell came to a handful of water-type Pokemon. Golisopod, the Krabby family, the Corphish family, the Shelder family, as well as Barbaracle. Magical Leaf also came to a wide variety of Pokemon, including Mr. Mime, as well as the Chikorita entire line, Blossom, Rosalia family, Mismagius, Shaman, the entire Rowlet line, Kirlia and Gardevoir. Gardevoir not running Charm. Okay. Lilligant got Magical Leaf. Meowstic as well. That's for Magical Leaf. Now for the Charged Attack Trailblaze, we have Tauros, Sudowoodo, the entire Mareep line, Scyther, and Caesar, and Cleavor, so the whole Scyther line got it.
Yeah, buddy.
The entire Teddy Ursa line got it, including Ursaluna. The Deerling line, the Rockruff line, the Fomantis line, and just Squovit. Stunky and Stunk Tank also got Trailblaze, which is interesting. Galarian, Meowth, and Berserker, Girafarig, as well as Fanfi and Donphan. So a ton of Pokemon got this charge move, including a wide variety of Pokemon that aren't the grass type. So it's kind of it's an interesting coverage move for a variety of Pokemon.
It's a shorter list to say who didn't get Trailblaze.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Deep breath, and we continue. Triple Axel came to a variety of Pokemon as well, including Galarian Mr. Mime, Sneasel and Weavile, Hitmontop, Kirlia and Gardevoir, Lopunny gets some love, Mr. Rhyme, as well as Steenie and Serena get Triple Axel. The new charged attack Scorching Sands goes to Sandslash, Kanto Ninetales, Arcanine, Rapidash, Entei, the entire Trapinch line, Claydol, Hippowdon, Magmar, and Magmortar, Diggersby, Excadrill, and the Sandygast line. Whew.
Well done. Yeah. Good effort.
All right.
Did it.
Okay.
So we powered
now-
through. So now,
yeah.
Fish, give me some of your hot takes about the new attacks, attack changes, attack availability. It's all on the table. What do you got?
Very overarching take first. It's I kind of saw this coming where like the PvP community, the circles we frequent, were all very excited when we first saw just how much the girth of this update, and then when it all kind of came in, and we started seeing what this looked like in practice, they're all like, "Is this it?" Metacham is still busted. In fact, it's even more like everything we do to the Metacham just grows more powerful. And that's kind of the thing.
Like Goku.
Yeah, exactly. Medicham is the Goku of Pokemon Go. It's kind of the thing that the people we associate with kind of want the most. And so we're getting to the point now that I think last update was so welcome just because it came off of the back of Boomburst Gate. But now that kind of veneer is worn off,
what are you talking about? It's alive and well in these notes. What are you talking about?
That's a valid point. I think that anything now that doesn't nerf Medicham is just going to cause some frustration among the hardcore PvPers.
The thing is, though, they can't. Medicham cannot be nerfed because you can't nerf counter. It's available to too many Pokemon. I don't think you can nerf Medicham. You can nerf Psychic.
Do it, you cowards.
They did. They nerfed Psychic, but that doesn't really affect anything other than like the Medicham mirror. Like that doesn't impact it at all. So the only way to nerf Medicham is to the things that Medicham is going to want to target, you remove them from play. Like you nerf them, you get them out of the way. Or you take the things that are counters to Medicham and you make them way better and more relevant. That's the only way I see to be able to nerf Medicham. It's not going to be through anything you do to that Pokemon. It's what you do to the rest of the meta. And I'm still really happy with this update. Like I love like the availability that they're giving some of these other Pokemon. I think Mudshot, Greedent, like I think there's a lot of fun. Steelix is kind of busted, like low key, and I don't think enough people are talking about it. Like Dragon Tail, Breaking Swipe, Psychic Fang, Steelix. It's kind of nutty.
And a shadow version as well.
Yeah.
I have come across, that's probably the Pokemon that I've come across the most during my Go Battle League sets. I have been running Whimsicott, and Whimsicott is a very good wall to Steelix, so I haven't minded that at all. I have also seen a few Gligar lately, and that is a bit more of a problem. My team does not handle Gligar as well. So the biggest two winners from what I've been able to tell out of this update have been Gligar, and in particular Shadow Gligar and Steelix, like you said. That Aerial Ace buff. Now, so Aerial Ace went down from 45 energy to 40, which makes a difference. But I called it before the moves actually went live that I don't think it's a particularly game-breaking difference. If the damage had been increased, I think that would have actually made more of a difference. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing that it's not more game-breaking. I absolutely don't mind very slight changes. But coming out a little bit spammier, it's got now a reasonable damage per energy count. But yeah, it's the only difference is it's coming out just a little bit quicker. You can still tank an Aerial Ace quite quickly. In fact, quite safely. Sorry. I did look at the Medicham versus Greninja matchup, and it's still more efficient throwing Hydro Cannon, which is a neutral move, than it would be throwing an Aerial Ace, which is a super effective move.
Hydro Cannon is busted.
It is.
So it makes,
it
makes any opportunity you have to throw Hydro Cannon for neutral damage, it's probably going to be better. I'm really enjoying the Aerial Ace. I think we might see a little bit more Mandibuzz out and about with Aerial Ace being a little bit better, which is exciting. It's something different. We talked about kind of at the start with Spark. There's been a lot of like debate on social media. Was Spark buffed? Was Spark nerfed? And I don't think it was either. I think Spark is just different now, where you're using it a little bit more for the damage of the fast move rather than the energy generation, which makes me think it's slightly a buff, because when you're talking Open Great League, when you're talking Play Pokemon, you're talking about Spark specifically on Lantern. Like that's the Pokemon you're talking about. And the benefit of Lantern, what made Lantern so busted, was being able to just crank out like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 surf. like really fast, and it can't do that anymore. So I do think this was a nerf to Lantern because of that, but it's not a strong.
Yeah. So
I think it's a little bit worse because that's what made Lantern so good, was being able to crank out those surfs.
I think it was more than just how quickly it got to those charge moves. The bulk and the typing, it's like a lot of things all kind of mixed in together to create this busted Pokemon. Just it's traded. It takes one extra spark to get to a surf now, and I think just one extra spark to get to a Thunderbolt as well. And it's traded that off for having much more of an ability to farm something down. So I did see someone make the point on Twitter that against Swampert now, if they let one surf go, you can then farm it down with resisted sparks from there and come out with a ton of energy against the next Pokemon, which is a very scary concept.
Yeah, so it's I think it's kind of like to be determined.
Yeah.
Like how this is going to affect things. Again, I don't think and what I was saying again, it's like I think it maybe got a little worse, but it's not. It was more just a change. Like it wasn't like a straight like, oh, this got way worse or this got way better. It's to be determined.
It's also why I don't think it's an automatic. You would automatically go Volt Switch over Spark, because I think strictly by the numbers, Volt Switch is still ahead, but the fact that it's 4 turns rather than 2 for Spark, so Spark's taking half the time, that gives you a lot more versatility and playability. Running a 4-turn move on your Pokemon allows your opponent to optimally time their charge moves better or switch out and catch moves better, easier, whereas Spark gives you a little more of that playability. Or just
and I was talking about like by the numbers, it's an upgrade. Okay. Like it's strictly an upgrade by the numbers for Charjabug. But I agree with you, 4-turn moves are very clunky in general, and a lot of people prefer 1 or 2 turn because they're a lot more versatile. So I agree with you on that.
All right, so we've got the new moves: Trailblaze, Scorching Sands, and Triple Axle. Have you encountered these moves in your play so far this season?
Not so much, but I think they're very interesting. I like the I get excited just kind of. This is for me the mark of a good move update. Like the possibilities, like Sudowoodo with Trailblaze.
Mm-hmm.
That could be kind of nutty in a limited meta. I love that. Butter's probably excited about Trailblaze Ampharos, even though I don't think you would ever use it. But Tuo Butter's probably excited about it. I think it's kind of interesting, as especially on something like a Skuntank in a limited meta. Yeah. I think Trailblaze could be really interesting.
A lot of the Pokemon that were given the move are non-grass Pokemon, and I really, really like that, because there is a thing that happens in particularly Great League where you've got the water ground types, affectionately known as the Mud Boys. They famously only have one weakness, which is grass, and they are very, very weak to that type of grass. And so often in metas where the water ground Pokemon are eligible, it creates this very one-track meta where, the Mud Boys are really good, and so you have to have a grass Pokemon to be able to counter the Mud Boys, and then you've got to have, I don't know, a flying type to counter the grasses, etc. Giving a viable grass type move to so many non-grass Pokemon gives you the option of being able to run other stuff and still be able to counter the Mud Boys, which I think is very healthy.
Agreed. One of the other new moves, Triple Axle, gives ice type coverage to a variety of Pokemon. Again, shouting out Gardevoir, we have a potential to see a Gardevoir winning Magical Leaf and not Charm. Don't know how I feel about it. I think for Lopunny, it's an upgrade. I think it's the slightest of upgrades for Lopunny. Double Kick, Triple Axle, Focus Blast. It's not quite enough.
Still getting there.
Otherwise, I don't know if Triple Axle is going to be like the move as much as I see Scorching Sands being like something really interesting. Like a ground move on Ninetales, I think is very interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to run it on Flygon. I think it knows Earth Power, and I think that's just strictly better if memory serves. Diggersby with Scorching Sands, that's the one that interests me because otherwise you'd be running like Earthquake. And I think like being able to get to a charge move much quicker, like Scorching Sands, I think is very interesting. Like Mudshot, Scorching Sands, Diggersby.
And
I'm ready.
They're very comparable. Thanks to the Earthquake nerf, the damage per energy is very comparable on Earthquake versus Scorching Sands. And Scorching Sands is quicker and also gives you a 30% chance of dropping your opponent's attack. I will also throw in that, going back to Triple Axle for a second, it's got the exact same stats, energy, and damage as Icy Wind. The difference being that Triple Axle will guaranteed raise your attack, where Icy Wind guaranteed drops your opponent's attack. So the different functionality there.
Yes. But I don't know. I feel like out of the 3 new moves, Triple Axle will be the least impactful. Like I think we're going to see it the least moving forward.
I agree.
I think either Trailblaze or Scorching Sands. I'm not sure which one. I just think the wide, like there's so many Pokemon that got Trailblaze that could be interesting, but I really, Diggersby is interesting. Like we might see that. Also, just throwing it out there, someone at Niantic really loves Claydol. And it's just one of these move updates, Claydol is going to be good. They just keep, like if you look at Claydol's moveset, it has arguably the best availability of moveset in the entire game. For charge moves, it's got this new Scorching Sands, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, Psychic, Rock Tomb, Earth Power, Earthquake, and Gyro Ball. Like it's got some of the best charge moves in the game. And heavy hitting fast moves of Confusion and Mud Slap. Like your heavy damage, big fast moves. But it just keeps getting new moves and nobody's using it.
Nobody's using it. Hey guys, am I cool now? No, Claydol. You're not cool.
It's just too slow and clumsy to really, I don't know. Like I don't think
how about Mudshot?
That could be Mudshot with like Ice Beam Shadow Ball.
Yeah.
Is kind of terrifying.
Ooh.
Earthquake,
and
like
it's got a decent bulk as well.
Yeah, it's bulky. Like stat product 2153. Like it's a bulky Pokemon. That would break it. Let's not give it Mudshot. Let's just stick with Mudslap, please.
Also for context, Trailblaze is a clone of Flame Charge because that's usually what helps me to conceptualize the effect of a move on the meta is just comparing it to other moves that we already have, ones that we are used to. So Trailblaze is an exact clone of Flame Charge, just with the grass type. You mentioned Skuntank in particular. That's one that I find interesting because assuming that you are running Crunch as one of your charge moves, you've then got the choice of Sludge Bomb, Flamethrower, and Trailblaze as the second move. Most often I see Flamethrower, which gives you that weapon against the steel type, so you can overcome plenty of steel types with Flamethrower. Running Trailblaze will allow you to have a weapon against the water types, in particular the Mud Boys, but then you're sacrificing the ability to hit the steels because they're resisting the grass type. So your choice between Trailblaze or Flamethrower will be very dependent on the rest of your team and what the meta's looking like at the moment.
Yep. I foresee this being a limited meta pick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe we'll see somebody spicy bringing it in play Pokemon, but I see it as the limited meta, so it's really going to depend on what the rest of the meta looks like.
Yeah, totally.
Fish, is there anything else you want to touch on before we close out this massive update?
Yes, so many things. I'm trying to. I've got like one eye on how much time are we taking versus how much I want to take. But Sky Attack, the nerf, so it's now 50 energy instead of 45, and that 5 energy difference has made such a big impact on specifically Noctowl and Altaria in the meta. And that's why Metacham has benefited so much, because its two like most common counters are now like so much worse. For Noctowl, it used to get to the Sky Attack in 6 wing attacks, then the second in 6 wing attacks, and the third one in 5 wing attacks, which 5 wing attacks very, very quick. Now it's 7 for the first one, and then 6 subsequently after that. And that, like, it might not sound like a lot, but that genuinely makes a huge difference to the viability of that Pokemon.
Noctowl used to be like top 10. We saw it all the time. It's currently PV Poke ranking is 123.
Yeah, wow.
It plummeted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Altaria, same thing. Taking much longer to get to the Sky Attack. It's down to 94. So I completely agree, Fish. I would argue Sky Attack, far and away the most impactful update to the meta.
Mhm.
So good call on like prioritizing the things we need to talk about with the time we have. Definitely I would say Sky Attack number 1, and everything else is a toss up. Like, like Sky Attack far and away. Yes, Chris.
Scyther getting Trailblaze. I saw somebody do a little video of them sweeping a team today. Is that actually good, or do they just get lucky? Because Aerial Ace too, right? It knows
I'd
Aerial
have to
Ace
see it,
too.
but like I think they got lucky.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe it.
Okay.
But it has been fascinating. While I have a moment really here, it's been fascinating. I know you already talked about the Aerial Ace change, but like seeing the very not meta in the sense that it's talking about the Pokemon Go meta, but meta as in like self-referential and self-understanding of people that are battlers talking in social media, where Aerial Ace, like in the 90s, like live action Disney movie, Aerial Ace last week was the girl nobody talked to, right? Or whatever. And then this week took off the glasses, let the hair down, and the crush is like, hey, you know, like everybody is talking about Aerial Ace. It's insane. That's like the thing I see. And I didn't realize there were so many other changes to talk about. And I think that just speaks to kind of a cool discussion around Aerial Ace that is happening right now with just one change to it. It's not like they changed it even all that much, right? It's just
Very
a 5
small
energy change. That's crazy to me as an outsider looking in, that is so important. That makes that big of a difference.
Because the thing that makes Aerial Ace so important is that it is available to so many Pokemon. Where Sky Attack is a move that really is only available to true like flyers, like the birds, things like Noctowl and Altaria. Everything has Aerial Ace. Like Greninja has Aerial Ace, Serperior, Escavalier, Sneasler. Like all these Pokemon that aren't the birds have Aerial Ace, which makes it a much more far-reaching change. But Sky Attack, again, is so impactful because it was the Noctowl and Altaria were the top 2 real counters to Metacham, or top 2 most common. Other than like Sableye, we see a lot of, but a lot of people are afraid to run Sableye because you see one Charmer and it's over.
And normal type Pokemon as well. A lot of most ghosts really struggle with normal types, which Noctowl was.
Boomburst.
Boomburst. So. Just for the sake of interest, Boomburst now 70 energy. So get those Boomburst Exploud, everyone.
The Exploud exploit. That's what we're going to call it in a couple of weeks.
You know what? It's a damage per energy count of 2.14, which is extremely high. Like, that's better than Leaf Blade.
But it's normal. The thing is, it's never going to be super effective to anything.
No.
That's what makes it.
Yep.
That's what makes it lame. Unfortunately.
Well.
Among other things.
And the very high energy count as well. Just taking forever to get to it.
Hyper Beam.
I mean, how often do you see Hyper Beam, right?
All right. Anything else? What else would you say? Because again, I'm conscious of the time. It's been 2 hours. What would you say again? Because we're going to be continuing to talk about this all season.
Yeah. Just a couple of mentions that I don't want to delve into. Just a quick one. Dig is now 50 energy. I don't think we actually specified the energy count. And Astonish Just going to have to look that up quickly. Astonish is now 10 energy over a 3-turn move. So that's a pretty reasonable increase, I believe, if I'm remembering right. But I have been hearing that Pokemon that know Astonish it's still not working for them.
No, because Pokemon that know Astonish also likely know Hex or Shadow Claw,
right,
which are better moves. Still,
I think that's it.
Okay.
and stop the stopwatch.
Okay. Any other comments before we transition, Chris and Kyle? I know, Chris, you expounded on like something you found interesting. Anything make you laugh, Kyle, while we were...
I have one comment, and it's more about formatting than anything.
My man.
Well, it's also information-based. I brought this up a few weeks ago, I think, when I was talking about acronyms or something like that. I don't remember exactly when I mentioned it. It tells us the exact amount of power that went down. And we're already into the season, so it doesn't matter. But it doesn't tell us the energy generation at all.
It's a very weird hill that Niantic has chosen to die on.
Yeah, it's because you don't get to know how much energy. You're not actually allowed to know. You have to go find it out. And I hate it. But,
so does most of the community. Because
and I just thought that was really funny to see it written down. Power increase. Direct numbers, here you go. Oh, just generic energy increase. Okay, well, I guess we'll play to find out how that changed.
So what do you think? What do you think their thought process is?
I think it's more of a thing where the Pokemon Company doesn't like their creatures to be numbers.
Yeah.
So I think it takes, making, like, not giving us all the information kind of, I think it's more of a, I don't know what you call it, like a philosophical thing.
Yeah, that's fair. And like they have to give us something because they can't just tell us it doesn't do anything at all and you just figure it all out because people would hate it. So they have to make a compromise. I bet you if they could get away with not telling you how much damage something did,
they would.
I don't know. We made some changes to these moves. Go figure it out. Like.
And it's really unlike Niantic to make decisions that the player base isn't comfortable with, right?
That's true. It is. So it must be a Pokemon Company decision then.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I have nothing else. I already got to say my piece about Scyther.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we're transitioning out, then somebody has to say, "May the leads forever be in your favor."
And I will say no.
You got away one week without having to say it, and I did. I got to edit that episode, and it hurt me. I almost put it in myself. Like, hey, Chris, really quick.
Oh my gosh, I would have cried.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, so just really quick, thumbs up or thumbs down for this change? I know that change is good, but do we feel like this is actually going to impact the meta in a way that is going to make the experience this season more or less interesting?
I'm giving it 2 thumbs up because it's different enough. It's not like one Pokemon walking in and just being crazy good like when Lantern came in with Surf.
Yeah, like Explode, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just
exactly.
like Explode. But it's more of a slight shift, and there's room for more of those slight shifts as the season goes on. New Pokemon get debuted, community days, shadow Pokemon, things like that will also give some slight shifts. So I give it 2 thumbs up. I think it's just enough of a change.
I will give it 1.5 thumbs up because, I while I'm never one to be genuinely upset at something like this, Boomburst Gate aside, I do wish that they could find a way to make Metagam less meta-defining. It's hard, I acknowledge that, but I mean, I believe there is a way, so I will reserve the last half of my thumb for when that happens.
Fair enough.
Someday, Niantic, you'll get the fabled 2 thumbs from Fish as well. Oh my goodness. Cool. All right. Well, thank you 2 very much for another great PvP Corner segment. I haven't had the chance to say that in a while, like 3 months, let's just say. But yeah, huge update. And it's very cool, I think, and very telling that there's changes that y'all are like, oh yeah, this changes this one particular meta Pokemon in such a way that actually makes a difference, that just means that they actually know what they're doing and looking at and how to interpret that into changes. So that's really, really cool. All right. That's it for PvP Corner. And we're going to move along here, but right after a short break. This week, in the interest of time, we will be skipping over PokéPoll and giving y'all an extension. I know this is rare, something that never happened to me in my academic life whatsoever, but we're giving you an extension to this week's Pokéball question, which was last week's as well. And that is, what are the pros and cons of seasons for you as a trainer in Pokemon Go? And you can answer that question when it's posted on the platform previously known as Twitter, or Twitter Forever in My Heart, at GOCast Podcast. That question's already posted. I will retweet it again so it's refreshed to some degree. If you're in our Discord as a patron, we have a channel dedicated to it. You can answer the question as a comment in the YouTube channel, because we do have video versions of the shows, including this, with all 4 of our glowing faces available for you to see. And a number of other ways, including email to mail@gocastpodcast.com and calling us at 262-586-7717. But that all reminds me of something. Kyle, what is that? What am I getting reminded of?
It's time for emails.
That's right. And at least one voicemail. We got one voicemail in that's addressed to all 4 of us, and one that was not. And in the interest of time, I'm so sorry, Sean. We will listen to your voicemail next week. But we have one here from Hero Ice that we will play.
Hey, Chris, Kyle, Fish, and DeFi. For those of you who are wondering, that is DeFi spelled capital D, capital P, H-I, capital E, 250. So now none of you have an excuse of spelling her name wrong anymore. I just want to say congrats on another season done. We are now ending the season of Hidden Gems, and I know that you guys are doing Grand Abut Table. So I just wanted to ask, so I've been a listener for about a year now, probably a little under a year, and I don't really know how the podcast got started or how you all met each other and decided to do this together. And I was wondering if you'd want to reminisce a little bit. And my question of the week to you guys is, what has been your favorite moment of this past season that's not Pokemon related? Mine is pretty simple. It is finding out that I am going to be a dad, which is extremely amazing and crazy.
Oh, wow.
But it could, I don't know, it could also be losing my job, but that's besides the point. But I hope you guys have a good time, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your year. Shiny vibes all, and may the seasons ever be in your favor. All right, bye.
Oh, there's so much in that.
Oh my gosh. All right. Wow. So I think it was our origin stories, how we met, how the show began or segment began, or all together, right? And then favorite moment from this past season, the past 3 months, that's not Pokemon related per se.
Also, I wanted to quickly mention, like, DeFi and I have had the discussion before of, like, should we just announce the correct spelling and capitalization of your name? And we've been like, nah, it's fun seeing people try and guess. So now that mystery is over.
What about the O in on and the A in Fish on a Heater?
I mean, it's just everything that is a word in regular English is capitalized.
Okay, good. Back and forth in my head. That's what I also decided on, but I needed to check. I've had DeFi's down forever because that was expressed how important that was from the get-go. Mm-hmm. So we do that work. But who would like to go first? I mean, Kyle and I guess I could just kind of get it out of the way. Our relationship as people started in Starbucks together when we worked together. And then I floated the idea of doing the podcast, and Kyle said we can't talk about enough in a week, every week. And now we're going on 2 hours on this show right now. 250 episodes later. Yeah. I don't know. What else? Kyle, did I leave anything out? I think that's really the Spark Notes version of that.
Yeah, that really everything else you want to know. We have 250 episodes that can tell you. That was the before times.
I have a shout out. As the Pokeball turns, you both did really great interviews recently. So I would check that out again. As the Pokeball turns, a Pokemon Go podcast with Hamtaro. Mm-hmm. And you did each of you did an interview separately, and you talked about kind of the podcast origin story. So if you're interested in learning more, I would highly recommend going to listen to those interviews.
And DeFi and Fish, you both have had episodes on there too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I will have to link all 4 in the show notes then.
I wouldn't have gotten some of those PvP questions that he asked you both.
Okay.
Like specifically the ones about the lowest damage per energy moves of each of the respective types. Like we focus so much on the highest, like we just completely gloss over the lowest. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't have gotten those.
I have a bone to pick because we both got 2 out of 5. One of Kyle's questions, what is Gengar's type? And I was like, this is not fair. This is not fair. Give me a gimme. Like,
no, in my heart, you two tied. Like in my mind and heart, because that was a throwaway.
No way.
Question that Kyle got. So shouting that out for sure. For PvP Corner, it started as a joke. Like a haha, wouldn't this be funny? We were on Twitch, or Chris and Kyle were streaming on Twitch. Fish and I were in the Twitch comments and talking about, wouldn't it be funny if these 2 people took over the podcast? What about these 2 mods took over the podcast? What if Fish and DeFi took over the podcast? They talk only about PvP, which would be very different to how Chris and Kyle talk 0 about PvP.
True.
And then Chris said, yeah, like I think just live on the thing, you're like, yeah, you should do that.
Yes.
And then we did that.
I recall that. I can't believe you 2 actually were like, okay, yeah. Give us a minute. We'll go do that.
And then we couldn't believe you were like, okay, take a segment of our, Niantic approved podcast.
It pays to be painfully aware of your gaps in knowledge and having people that you can trust that fill that gap. Let me just say.
I mean, it also, you also had to recognize that that's a gap that needed to be filled. Because I think 100%. A lot of other people would have just said, PvP, it's just like a corner of the game. Like, who cares?
Quite honestly, PvP corner of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
DeFi, did you and I, obviously we met through PvP, but I'm trying to think when and how we actually crossed paths. Like, was it in the GOCast community or it might have been Pokemon Go Radio at the time?
Oh, yeah.
We were also in that one.
It might have been Pokemon. It was probably Pokemon Go Radio first because I was in that server first. Cool. And then
I think I did. I think I joined both servers on the same day, so it could have been either.
That's a good
or
answer.
It could have been something else.
No, I mean, I can't tell you guys how many people that I met initially through PGR as well. PGR was foundational to the entire Pokemon Go podcast sphere, and by that, the larger global audience is kind of like as a consequence, I suppose, right? Except that DeFi and I met in person the first time we met at the first ever Sylph Regional in Chicago at a bar.
That was a phenomenal experience. It was so good.
It was, yeah, it was really cool.
Were you competing, Chris, or like what was your capacity? Yeah, right.
I was actively doing laps before it started because I needed a couple more Bastion candy to level them up. That's how classic. Like I know Bastion is still a talking point, but still, like I was like 2 power-ups away, and I'm like, I gotta get these in.
And then favorite thing in the last 3 months that's not necessarily Pokemon related. Mine is kind of cheap because the whole reason I went to Japan was for Pokemon. But I would say outside of, if you ignore the 2 events, so you ignore Osaka Go Fest, you ignore the World Championship, I would still say like the Japan trip. Getting to see Kyoto, getting to see Nara, Tokyo, all of that travel, kind of that once in a lifetime trip was my highlight from the past 3 months.
The first thing that comes to mind for me was I have alluded to it on the pod, how I went straight from Japan to the Gold Coast after that trip for work. So it was I arrived back in my hometown of Adelaide at 7 a.m. on the 16th on the 17th of August, and then flew out of Grubbin, and then flew out at 2 p.m. that day. So it was literally, I came home, repacked, and went straight back to the airport again.
Oh
Went
my
off to the
God.
Gold Coast, worked for 2 weeks, and was helping to run a very big poker series. So it ended up being a record-breaking series. There was a tournament within that series they broke the record for the biggest tournament field in Australian history. So there was just under 2,500 players that all paid a $1,500 entry fee to play in this tournament, and there was over $3 million of total prize pool, total money and that prize pool, with the overall winner, getting just under $600,000. So that is life-changing amounts of money.
Whoa. Yeah, that is. Wow.
And so I was there to help facilitate that series. Very, very long hours. I do think I mentioned it, but it was like there were 2 days in a row where I worked for 16 hours without a meal. And so I would get home at like 4 a.m. and then, eat something, go to bed, and then wake up at 10 a.m. to do it again the next day as well. Over the course of the 2 weeks, I worked 133 hours.
Ooh, you're getting paid hourly, right?
It was an hourly pay, yeah.
Okay.
And like I did mention to someone during the course of the series that like I know I'm in the right job because this is so stressful and so like so demanding on my body and mind, and yet I love it so much. I really, really enjoy getting to travel and run these events in the Gold Coast too, which is like it's a beautiful city.
Doesn't sound like you had a lot of time to get out and about though.
No, valid. I did on the one day in those 2 weeks that I had off, I managed to meet someone that the GOCast listeners might know, and that is Lachlan. LF Kamala.
Nice.
Oh,
met him for the first time in person.
When we had that phone call, is that the same
that was
outing?
it.
Oh, great. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I made the day trip to Brisbane, so it's about an hour's drive away. Went there, and we had a day of laughs together. I wasn't in the best frame of mind because I had just come off of an hour's sleep, but we made it work.
Yeah, made the most of it. That's awesome. Mr. Kyle, can you blow off the dust on the positivity and what's the best thing that's happened to you in the last 3 months?
Man, so little has happened to me in the last 3 months outside of Pokemon. I'm not gonna lie. I literally scrolled back and was like, what was the last noteworthy thing that happened in my life? And it was probably in May when we had our meetup and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then again, several months before that. Mine is also kind of a cheating answer then, similar to DeFi's, because I got to go to New York City this last season. And I went, 3 days early to do stuff that's not Pokemon related. I got to go sightseeing. I didn't do all of the touristy stuff because that wasn't really my goal, but I had a great time, and I honestly don't really feel like I need to go back. So I think that's a win.
Yeah.
Yep. I will never need to see Times Square again. I went for 5 minutes, and I said, okay.
I got to see it twice. I saw it during the day where it was boring, and then I saw it at 11:30 at night, and I'm like, yeah, it looks just like the movies, I suppose. I don't know. It's just fine.
I like people. I'm an extrovert. I enjoy people and crowds, and that bordered on like anxiety inducing for me. It was too many people.
It's a criminal amount of people.
And I love Go Fests. I love the people and the stuff, but it was too many and too enclosed of a space.
It's like you have to accept that there will be someone in your personal space at all times.
Yeah, there's no.
And I was just very aware, like very different from Japan. I was just very aware of like where my purse was and like pickpocketing. Where in Japan, I was less worried. Just strange to be less worried. Outside of your home country, where in my home country, like I am more aware and more worried about, safety.
Theft being less of a worry is almost exclusively a Japan thing, from what I've been told. that it's kind of a cool phenomena, and that everybody that goes there that's not from there is like, I can just leave this bag here for an hour. I'll be right back. Oh, it's still there? Wow, that's wild. Somebody put money in my bag. Like, awesome. I think mine is also going to be because, gosh, questions like this always make me realize that one of the prime movers, if not the prime mover in my life, is Pokemon and Pokemon Go. Like a lot of the things I do and travel that I do is around that, except for sometimes when work pops in. The last season, work was not that for me. So we finished a golf TV show. I got to fly some drone. That was pretty cool, but it pales in comparison to the New York trip. And I have had the opportunity and privilege to have been to New York like 5 or 6 times prior to this, which is one of the reasons that Kyle and I were really able to efficiently kind of navigate some stuff. When I was like, you really only need to walk through Times Square. At first he's like, really? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm sure that'll be fine. We got through. He's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm completely fine. Like, I don't need to spend 2 hours there. Like, we walked into the M&M store, walked out the other side of it, and then we left. Like, but I think for me and this is going to be strange because it is Pokemon Go adjacent, but having not been quote unquote notable trainers this year and having to make our own plans to meet other people and be as available and mobile as possible in order to make that happen was probably one of the best experiences I've had in a really, really long time, because every social interaction felt, I don't want to say earned, but like that much more legitimate, right? I didn't feel like anybody stopped by to just be like, oh, you're up here, so I want to say hi to you. Only people that cared to actually say hi to us for, like, I listened to the show, or my kids like you, or as a family been listening, any of that sort of stuff. That was all we got. And I'm still flying high from that experience. I really am. It made an imprint on my soul. Like, all the people that we met, all the people that made plans with us outside the park, people that host us that first couple of days around and stuff like that. Like, it means a lot to me and meant a lot to me and will continue to mean a lot to me. It's really, really cool stuff. So again, feels kind of like a cop-out answer, but I stand by it. But thank you very much for the voicemail, Hero Ice. We all really appreciate it. We do have a few emails that we got to run through here real fast because we're really running the clock here this time. So Kyle, why don't you take this first one from a longtime listener, the Scorpio Kid?
All right. So the Scorpio Kid said, "Hey y'all, the Scorpio Kid here. I just wanted to mail in and say thank you for everything you guys and gals do. Between making the pod and hosting events, and even just responding to emails or messages. To Chris and Kyle, y'all have inspired me to help out in my local community more and to even become a community ambassador.
Wow. Let's go.
This past weekend was GoFest Global, and to celebrate this year, I decided that it was time for my local community to host an event. So I decided to host a potluck at our local park. And to my surprise, more than 100 local/close by trainers showed up. We had such a great time that people are already messaging me and asking to host again for community days. None of that would have happened if it wasn't for 2 normal guys having the guts to get online and record themselves talking about something they both clearly love. You guys are a true inspiration, showing people that they can get out of their comfort zone, even a little bit, and can make something awesome. To everyone on the pod, thank you for always keeping me informed about what's the new skinny with Pokemon Go. So much so that everyone was asking me questions like how to use Campfire, or which Pokemon can be shiny, and how do you know what counters to use. I felt like Google for Pokemon Go in a good way. Anyways, sorry for the long and sappy email. Your friend, the Scorpio Kid. Oh, I really appreciate that email. Thank you.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, DeFi and Fish out here educating the masses. Look at that. Look at that.
You should be a teacher, DeFi.
Yeah, have you thought about that? Have you considered? You're quite good at it.
I'll get right on that. I'll get right on that at 7:30 tomorrow morning.
Hey. Oh boy, that's like less than 12 hours away.
Don't talk to me. My alarm goes off at 5.
I'm also working 7 a.m. tomorrow, so don't
geez.
right now.
Oh, geez.
Okay, my alarm goes off at 5, Kyle. When's your alarm go off?
I haven't set it yet, but I'll probably have it set for 5:30.
Okay.
I don't have an alarm set for tomorrow.
Same.
Let's go fish.
Yeah, in fact, like I've got very little on tomorrow.
Triple axles and ice skating move? What?
Nonsense
Anyway.
we put up with, Kyle. All right, next. Thank you, the Scorpio
Yes,
Kid.
thank
Next
you.
email, Paul BD. Who's going to take this one?
You're already going.
Cool.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Paul BD writes, hello, Omnicast GOCast podcast. A lot of people have been writing in discussing their love or hatred of eggs. I think I might have found a solution that all sides could get on board with: breeding. In order to breed, you would have to have an open egg spot and one male and one female of the same species, or one ditto plus a male or female. A Pokemon would only be allowed to breed once a week. When breeding, you'd have the option of breeding a 2, 5, 10, or a special 20K egg. 2K eggs would have an IV floor of 0, 0, 0, 5K, 5, 5, 5, 10K would be 10, 10, 10. 20K eggs would only be available if you breed 2 shiny Pokemon together, and the shiny rates from these eggs would be community day rates, 1 in 20. The Pokemon that would come out of these eggs would only be the Pokemon that were bred. Eggs from spinning stops or opening gifts would still exist. Under this new system, trainers would be able to use the eggs to target specific Pokemon they want for PvP IVs, plus those lucky enough to multiply shinies of the same Pokemon could farm for more of that Pokemon for trading purposes. What are your thoughts on this idea? Sorry for the long and possibly weirdly formatted email. I'm writing in this between early AM feedings for my 1-month-old.
Aw.
Love, Paul BD. P.S. That.
May the leaves be in your favor.
I thought we got her.
Almost did it.
No, she's too smart for that. She's all
That's
over
right.
it.
Darn
All
it.
right, Chris, as the resident egg expert, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a good system. I think it's too good, and that's why it won't ever happen.
Yeah, you have to make it worse for there to be a conversation.
But what I really like is the idea of being able to generate more shinies if you already have 2, because that means you've already gone through the regular channels of acquisition, right? Even if you traded for them, the original ones had to come from somewhere, right? Like from somewhere. I really like that aspect of it, and I think that'd be super cool to see.
I like being able to target PvP IVs.
Yeah,
Being able to hatch PvP IVs, I think, is a very cool idea.
It does take out the element of randomness, which I don't know how that affects Niantic from their side. Like they might, the element of randomness might contribute to, the money they're making from it. I don't know if you could choose which specific Pokemon you want to breed, then would people buy more or less incubators as a result?
Yeah, 100%. That's definitely like a calculation that the guys in suits have to figure out. Not for us, thankfully. But I really like the idea here. And I think if you make it so it doesn't give candy, it doesn't give XL, it doesn't give Stardust, you have a potential for a system here that isn't like overloaded with rewards. The ultimate value comes down to be how much value is there in getting one copy of the Pokemon you want, or another attempt at the copy of the Pokemon you want. So, and the actual answer is probably too good for Niantic's opinion.
I mean, it definitely does kind of put a little bit of, it takes away some of the agency they have on scarcity control. So like I get that. Can't give us too much control over that. But at the end of the day, once the community day is finished, who cares? Nobody.
Niantic does, because they do community day move launches or re-releases, I suppose. Couldn't think of a proper word for events. Those Pokemon have to continue holding some kind of value.
Yeah, but whether or not you can hatch more shinies once the shiny is out doesn't infect.
But I'm not talking about the shinies here. I think the IVs are a far bigger discussion to be had.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And the Pokemon still has value from an IV spread standpoint, even if you have 20 shinies.
Having an IV floor of, say, 10 in a 10-kilometer egg, that does, to an extent, negate the PvP IV argument. If you had something like 2k eggs have an IV floor of 0, and then 5ks have an IV floor of like 2, and 10ks have an IV floor of 5, then I think that increases the viability of farming eggs for PvP.
Yep.
Yeah, I would like to see breeding in some way. Monetize it. You know it's going to be monetized. Just they haven't figured out the right way to monetize it and not make everybody upset.
I don't know. They're loot boxes, man. Nobody's happy about loot boxes. You just kind of
Well, there are loot boxes right now, but they don't need to be. That's the point.
I don't see a way of them making it whether they're different than that. I don't know. It works too well in the mobile game framework. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes, I know that.
Yeah. But either way, an incredible idea, and we're very happy you wrote in about it, Paul Beatty. Thank you very much. This next email is from Juan, and they said, "Hey there, Chris, Kyle, Fish, and DeFi." Juan writing in once again. I wanted to ask a quick PvP related question. I'm the wrong person to be reading this. When you guys are battling in the GBL, what's one Pokemon you just absolutely despise and fear going up against? For me, I'd probably have to say Jellicent in the Great League. While it does have Surf, when it has Bubble Beam and that attack drop gets you, following up with a hard-hitting Shadow Ball, man, it stinks, let me tell you. Looking forward to your guys' responses. See ya. Okay, so the question is, what in GBL, what's one Pokemon you just can't stand or you are really scared of seeing?
Chansey. Done.
Okay.
I hate it. It's because it's just timeout
Fair.
strats. Chansey
fair.
and paired with like a Wobbuffet. It's just annoying. Like it's just frustrating.
It's like, be right back. I'm going to get a snack.
Yep.
Fish, what about you?
I got two possible answers. One is kind of similar to DeFi's, which is like the Bastiodon / Shadow Victory Bell idea, because I have been on record as saying like it's a strategy. It may not be a strategy you like, but it is a strategy. And yet, when I see one on my screen, I can't help but get that feeling of like, oh, so you think you can just tap your way to beating me, huh? Which half the time they do. Which is the frustrating part. It's like,
that's the beauty of that team is half the time it's gonna work.
It's gonna work every time. Then the other answer I could give is any, not one specific Pokemon, but any team that is popularized by a content creator, because I just get very high and mighty about just be original. and like, yeah, this person's gotten an idea from someone else and is beating me with that idea.
Fish would hate coming up against me in the Go Battle League because that's all I do. I scroll YouTube in the thumbnails and I'm like, okay, what's being played, and that's where I start.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
So, but no, Shadow Victory Bell is another one, or any Shadow Razor Leaf user is another one that you just see it and you're like.
They should change its cry to the cry from the anime just for Victory Bell to really make that moment even worse for you. Yeah. Kyle.
Man, I'm the wrong person to ask this question.
That's why you're the right person to ask.
I have done 5 matches of GBL last season.
Okay.
Amazing.
In those 5 matches, you went up against several Pokemon.
I won all 5. It doesn't really count. Oh,
look at this guy.
Off of my memory, it's been so long. So using U2 is jogging my memory. I hate Shadow Razor Leaf users.
Mm-hmm.
Hate them.
Oh,
just
what a good answer, actually.
It's not OP. It's not fun to play against.
Yeah, it's you really have to do some planning of like some extrapolation of like how much damage is this Razor Leaf going to do to me over time, and how much pressure can I place back on the Pokemon, keeping in mind that they have 2 shields to use, because that's the thing, they basically double shield the Pokemon, and then the thing that you have to beat it can no longer stand up to the constant extended barrage of Razor Leafs, and then suddenly you've got 2 Pokemon left that can't deal with the Razor Leaf anymore.
And then you die.
And my response is, it's not any one particular Pokemon, but it can be any one particular Pokemon. If its CP is higher than 2,500, I've made a grave error, and I have decided to play in Master League. So that's what terrifies me most. But I hope that you'll buy that answer, and everybody else had much better ones than I did. But thank you very much, Juan. We appreciate it.
It's an answer. We'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
So the next email is from Faulkner14, who says, "Hey all, I love the shows. I was hoping to get a general consensus on a hotly debated topic in my local Pogo community. Trashing shinies or Pokemon. A few trainers like myself catch so many Pokemon, I try to get 500 minimum per day. And don't really see the need for 27 shiny Zigzagoons or keeping a Pokemon that may be relevant one day in PvP with the right IVs. I know everyone should play as they choose, but what do you guys do? Sorry for the long email, and don't worry, DeFi, I won't finish it. Regards, Faulkner14.
Thank you. I love it. Fantastic. I trash shinies all the time, especially like community day ones where I catch 30 shiny Charmanders. What am I going to do with them? I'm trashing slightly less now because I have an alarm on my phone every week on Monday. I send 5 shiny Pokemon to home. So that, and I get more than I usually get more than 5 shinies in a week on average when you put in all the events. So they're just, that alarm has really helped to just put a bunch of Pokemon at home. So I'm deleting less shinies now, but I do trash them. I don't trash PvP IVs ever, but I will trash shinies. By trash, I mean send them to the professor into their loving
Of course, yeah.
home on the farm.
I often think about how many trillions of Pokemon are now at the lab.
Yeah, right, at the lab.
Another 600 Rattata? Where am I going to put these ones?
They're so big. Who makes these?
I also have no shame in sending shiny Pokemon to the professor. Not even a little bit. They just go. The only time I don't do it is when I don't want to manually send them one at a time. So that takes too much effort. That's the only reason I have as many shinies and legendaries as I do right now. And I don't want to turn on the option that lets you transfer them in mass because that gives me anxiety.
True.
We used to live like that 24/7.
The dark days.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm just happy now that there's like stops for like costume and stuff. I know that was added pretty early on, but that wasn't always the case. Yep. And sizes now XXL and XXS and stuff like that. So that's really good.
All right, Chris, knowing the state of your inventory, I think I know your answer, but
I was just pulling it up. How did you know?
I imagine you probably have 2,400 shinies right now.
You're wrong.
In your inventory.
You're wrong.
Okay.
It's 2,633. So still not as much Mega Gengar energy as you have. Okay, buddy. So my philosophy is, if it's not shiny, it could be. And so like, I just kind of, I've kept so many of my shinies. I always talk a big game about transferring them into home from Go, but I'm really bad at doing it. I will.
Set an alarm on your phone. It's working really well. It's actually like, it
alarms
comes up
don't
and
work
like,
on my phone. I silence them and then move on.
I might do that. I might do that. That sounds like a good idea. But I don't know. My real philosophy is just buy more storage. I don't know. They've been pretty good about it.
No, I'm pretty confident that at your current rate, you will surpass the storage needs very soon.
Yeah, I absolutely will. Just under half of my storage is purely shinies, and that needs to.
And then like a third of the remaining half is probably actually relevant Pokemon that you probably want to keep. So
a lot of it's also just like things that I had started when I was doing living decks, and I'm like, this is an 86%. It's the best one I have of this, and I'm just too lazy to go unfavorite it and transfer it, even though I have a 90.
It's a lot of work.
It's too much work. Nay. But PvP IVs, if I have a repeat, like if I have a rank 7 and a rank like 56, that rank 56 is going by.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I'll keep ridiculous Pokemon that are good in Little Cup for some reason that are not very high on the ratings, but it says it's rank 3 and I should probably keep it. Like,
I keep
like Fission may have high rank Oricorios. Like,
I keep high rank of obviously good PvP Pokemon, and that's it. Like I have a rank, I don't know, 14 Carbink. So
okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's gonna sit there and never get used. But it will take up its inventory slot.
Yeah. Just like most hoarders, I could use this one day. I didn't. I will delete shinies like it's no one's business. As soon as it's like not even just Comday shinies, like as soon as a shiny is registered to my Pokedex, I'm done with it. And that is to specifically make sure I have enough room for all the PvP Pokemon that I keep. I realized a few days ago and tweeted out about this that the most ridiculous thing that I have kept for PvP is a Manectric that would be rank 1 Mega Manectric for Little Cup.
Okay, yeah.
It just kept getting worse.
Right? Like, for that one bright shining moment when Megas are allowed in Little Cup and Manectric is in any way viable in that cup.
It could be.
It's time to shine. It'll be like, you doubted me for so long.
Yeah. They're like all mega Pokemon available only in this Little Cup. Mm-hmm. All water types only, but also Manectric. And you're like, yes.
Yeah. And then
let's go.
And then Swampet's going to be like, hey.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Whoops. Yikes.
All flies.
Yeah.
And then Altaria comes in. No, there's no safe. There is no scenario where this is a good Pokemon. And yet.
Bad times for everybody.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the question there. We have one more email that we'll read through very quickly. So have your questions at the ready. This is going to be rapid fire. Okay, y'all? There's 3 questions in here, but this one's from Mythic. Hey guys, it's Mythic here. Happy 250 episodes. Thank you. It's been so awesome to listen to the last 150 episodes. I discovered you guys at episode 100 and be able to interact with all of you. Whether it's PvP Corner or the regular GOCast podcast, you guys have given me great ideas and funny moments in honor of 250 episodes. I will now ask some questions that will hopefully be fun. All right, so here's going to be the order of questions when we give our answers. We're going to go D5, Fish, Kyle, myself, and then move on to the next question, okay? All right, the first one is, what non-meta Pokemon would you make PvP relevant if you could? Specifically talking about Great League relevance. Personally, I would love to see a pre-evolution get some love, kind of like Murkrow and VGC with like Eviolite or something. I'd also be okay with something like 10% Zygarde getting love in Great League.
Lopunny.
All right.
Check.
The evolutions, apart from like Umbreon's obviously very good. Sylveon has some play, but yeah, like Jolteon, Vaporeon, I'd like to see them be a little more useful.
Nice. Okay. Kyle?
This is a problem because I don't
know
how useful things are. Is Spiritomb useful at all? I want to see more Spiritomb because it's sort of like Sableye.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. It fits.
Butterfree. Beedrill's had some love. I think Butterfree needs more.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Question number 2. What is one feature that you would love to have in the game, but Niantic will never bring to the game? For me, it's breeding. I feel like this would make eggs so much more interesting, but it would be so hard to implement. What a topical question. All right, go for it.
Lucky trades globally, because I currently have 81 lucky friends.
Holy
and
God.
I would like to cash in on the ones in like Dubai. That would be neat.
Good point.
Did you get some lucky trades done in Japan?
I did. So I used to have 100.
Wow.
Oh wow. Woo!
And I'm down to 81.
I've said it on the pod before, status effects for PvP. Mm-hmm. I think that would be a great way of like, yes, it's RNG, which a lot of people don't like, but I think it is a great way to introduce an extra mechanic that makes matchups not as dependent on typing.
For me, it's probably mass gifting or a system of interacting with the UI for gifts, because it is clearly never going to change and it's bad.
Except for the people that love it, it's perfect.
No, I'm pretty confident that even the people that love it, you could make the system better and they would still like it.
I mean, I think that's true of anything. If you improve it, I think people that like it will like it more. But is your argument that the UI is so bad that even the people that like it would be like, okay, yeah, the UI needs some help?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
I think gifts are fine. I think sending gifts, receiving gifts, fine. Just the UI and the experience of doing it it's just bad. I would like to see gift giving in general as a feature improved or revamped if necessary.
Agreed. That's a good one.
I still probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't blame you.
Mine is very similar to Fish's, but for a different reason. I think abilities are very much needed in this game, but I think it messes up a lot of balance and a lot of ways that CP is calculated and this game is just built. A lot of Pokemon identities hinge on the ability that they have or don't have. And it's kind of a bummer to see some of people's favorite Pokemons be sort of hollowed out because of that. Like Mega Mawile is not going to be nearly as cool as it is in the main series games because of its lack of ability in Go. So that's just my straightforward answer. Question number 3, and the last question is, finally, if you had the choice, where would next year's in-person US Go Fest be, and what would be the big feature, like a Mega Rayquaza was this year's feature? I just want something close to me, so somewhere in the Midwest, and I would want to see Mega Mewtwo come to Go. Maybe I'm biased because I got a Hundo Mewtwo on my first 5-star raid, but either way, I feel like it could be a really cool thing to base the Go Fest around. Anyways, happy 250th episode, and see you for Season 4. Signed Mythic. Okay. So, where would you like to see the US Go Fest? Fish, you are allowed to deviate from this confidentially if you so choose.
Oh yeah, I mean Adelaide. Let's go.
Let's go.
Bring it to Adelaide. We have 1 million people.
So Adelaide, and what's your main feature?
So main feature, like the attraction, the thing that would we have
everything's
really,
just upside down.
Really good quality wine. Like that's the thing when people ask me what there is to do in Adelaide. That's my answer is like the wine tours. We got very like world class wine.
Yeah, but what would be the big feature in the Go Fest?
In the Go Fest. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I'm
down with wine still being the answer. To be clear,
every player gets a bottle of Coonawarra. No,
yeah.
The big feature, the thing that like the marquee feature, I guess, would be they introduce an evolution to Kangaskhan. And
all right,
and put that as the special research.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah,
that'd be sweet. Okay, well, we deviated from the order a bit, but let's get back on track. DeFi, what about you?
Milwaukee, but since that's not going to happen, let's just go back to Chicago, somewhere drivable to me, and not and also somewhere that's not heat death like Osaka. That was awful. So in August, please no. So back to Chicago, and the main feature would be Manaphy and Fione from Sinnoh and breeding, because that's kind of their thing.
That would be a great coupling for that. My goodness. Okay, Kyle, can you top either of those answers? Chicago.
Maybe. I'd kind of like to see it back in Seattle. I had a great time there, and I'd like to actually get to visit more. So I'd like to use that as an excuse. Mega Mewtwo is my go-to for the feature, but for something different, it'd be really cool if they use it as an opportunity to release Z moves. I don't know how you do it, but I have to brainstorm farther. Mega Mewtwo requires no extra thought, but it seems like a great opportunity.
Good answer. I think all of those are great answers, but I think mine, to just be different, will be Austin, Texas. I really quite enjoyed it. I was there one time. I went for RTX, and it was pretty cool, very walkable. It's a little warm, so you'd have to be.
I'm just like not in the summer, man.
You'd have to be real careful. But it is really cool. Lots of great places to eat. Incredible culture in that area. I think the city experience for that would be phenomenal. And there's a couple of large parks that it could be held in. And for the big feature, what a good question. I honestly have no idea. I would really like to see them start implementing things like Dynamax in, even if it's just going to go the way that, Primal Reversion did, where IE plugs right into the Mega Energy system. But I'd still love to see that. Let's get one more button on that Charizard UI and call it a day. Let's go. And that's pretty much it. So Mythic, we hope that you enjoyed your responses to your email. We certainly enjoyed your email in its entirety. We have a couple of other emails, but we don't have the time to read them. We actually are running on negative time right now. So we're going to wrap up the show. If you'd like to email us, just like these fine folks did, you can to mail@gocastpodcast.com. If you'd like to send it to our PvP-oriented co-hosts, you can by sending it to mail at PvP Corner. Is it PvP Corner? Please tell me. I can't remember.
PvP Corner at GOCastPodcast.com.
That's the one. PvP Corner at GoCastPodcast.com. Thank you. You can also leave us a voicemail to 262-586-7717. You can also just Discord message me or email us a voice file. That works too. No problem there. Visit our website for all things GoCast at GoCastPodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter. You heard me. At GoCast Podcast. If you'd like to help support the show monetarily, you can via Patreon. That's patreon.com/GoCast Podcast. And speaking of patrons, shout out to our Elite Trainer tier patrons. Do we have somebody willing to take the list?
Did you do it last week? Last season?
I don't remember.
All right,
I'll do it.
Go ahead.
Shout out to our elite traders. Bo, Daniel, Lori, Michael, Ozzy, Arkham, Marvin, Mimi, Sports, Thayer, Jason, Justin, Charles, Modders, Lee, William, Brendan, Ethan, Steven, Nick, Kelvin, our favorite listener, Drew 2, Camo, The Ugly Rock, Jacob, Victoria, and Sarah Lore.
You nailed it. I haven't been able to do it in a full breath in 2 weeks. You got it. I'll tell you what the real speed bump is. It's our favorite listener, Drew 2.
Yeah. Really slows things down.
It's like the last hill of the 10K at the 9th K, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna die. But if you'd like to help support the show in another non-monetary way, you can, of course, by leaving us a review on everywhere except for Google Podcasts, because they still don't have their stuff together. They write, right? Isn't that right, DeFi?
Right.
Okay. All right. I'm going to keep checking in with you.
Fish also listens on Google Podcasts.
Yes.
Oh, you two are the problem. You're enabling them. You have to boycott. But that's it. Let's set some goals and get out of here then. So let's just do at least one for the two of you. I know that you always feel put out when I ask for goals, and that's fair because that is exactly what I'm doing. So.
You should bring it next season. Bring these back, have them so we can go over them. But okay. I have two. One of them is I want to get platinum on my Master League veteran badge from Go Battle League, and I'm about 109 battles short. I think I can do that in a season. In Master League Premier.
Godspeed.
Master League, and those are wins. So I think I can do that. And then the other one is hit Expert, because I missed it this season because I didn't play for 3 weeks while I was traveling. So I would like to hit Expert, and I would like to platinum that badge.
Awesome. Doable. 100%. Fish, do you also have a doable goal in this season?
Yeah. I'm coming to the table this time. I've got some stuff in mind. So I'd like to complete the Master Ball research.
Ooh. Okay.
This next one is probably easy for most other people, but not for me, which is 4 Shadow Zapdos raids I'd like to do.
That's a great goal.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to hit Legend in GBL. And I have completed a Master League Dragonite. I would like to now complete 2 other, build to level 50, 2 other Pokemon for Master League. That will be relatively difficult because not only do I have to put the resources in, it's one of those things where I'm so hesitant to put resources into a 98 or a 96. We often say IVs don't matter as much as what some might think. For Master League, it feels gross doing it for a not hundo. So that may be difficult to complete, but I will put that on the list.
I can't let you have more goals than me, so I'm adding 2 more. Finish. I'm going to copy you and do the Master Ball research, but also for me, a good goal is finishing the Go Battle League timed research, because I don't do my battles every day. So getting the 500 wins that you need, like, I didn't make it this season, and it irritates me, so I'm going to do it this season.
There's an hour of sleep a night to that thought.
Yes.
Fish, when you said I've completed one XL 100% Dragonite for Master League, I thought you were about to say, and I want to finish 2 more.
You just can't handle my triple Dragonite strats.
The AAA team is just too strong. It's too strong. Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, Kyle, what about you?
All right. So I want to get all the new Dex entries minus Frigibacks because I'm not confident in the one day that I have.
You coward.
500k experience and gifting every day. I'm reaching my opening limit at the very least, so that friendship experience is tempting. So if you're on my friends list, send or open my gifts. I see a lot of people who don't open my gifts. So yeah.
I saw a gift from you recently and was shocked. I was shooketh. I do not have a gift from you currently.
That said,
wow,
I don't touch best friends because I have so many other friends that actually need to work on my friendship levels that it's not happening. Happening.
I'll open your gift because we could go lucky friends.
Yes, but okay. Does anyone know? I don't have time for these questions. Chris, what are your goals? I need to go to bed.
I know.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Mine are 1 new shiny. Anything I don't have. So one of the 2 new ones. Hopefully this week, Lechonk or Bombardier. After the next event rolls over for a day, I can do it, or something else. Who doesn't? I just really don't care. 50 eggs. The all-new Paldean Pokemon Dex entries, including Frigibacks, because I have courage in my heart, the heart of a warrior. That's right. And Paldean research complete. There's one that I have to get Buddy Heart 7 days in a row. I want to finish that, and then I'm going to have to churn through the other 2 steps before we record, probably that very same day. So there's that. Thank you, Fish, and thank you, D5, for being on this marathon recording with us. It's wonderful. It's always worth it. I hope you feel the same way. I know we're all tired, but thank you both.
Yeah, I'm beat. I always feel kind of responsible for long run times on podcasts. Like whenever I'm on a show like with American hosts, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's getting real late." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, but let's keep going."
Yeah, you're like, it's not yet lunchtime for me. I'm good. I'm good. But again, yes, thank you both for coming on. And dear listener, if you're not already listening to the PvP Corner, you have less than no excuse because it's on the same feed as GOCast. So you should do that. Even if you're new to PvP, give it a listen. See if it's for you, because you might just be a PvPer and you don't know it. Yep. But as always, thank you, Kyle, for putting up with me. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Cool. I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Well, make up your mind. It's been years.
maybe not today. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, we'll see you all next time. Thanks so much for listening all the way through. And bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
May the leads be in your favor.